Let us see if this internet is doing good. All right, guys, can you hear me? Shalom, everyone. Peace of the Lord to all of you. Peace for those who love peace, and no peace for the wicked, the Lord said. We are live in YouTube, Rumble, and Discord. And if you are a Muslim, you'd like to join us, please feel free. You can join us in Discord, and we would like to hear you. You know, there's many ignorant online. Some of them, they can be Christians. Some of them can be Muslims. But to be a sheikh and to be ignorant and a liar, that is a very shameful thing. Yesterday, you know, I don't have internet. I just got the internet today. You know, I was looking at YouTube, you know, and then a video of Shaky Uthman came in my way. And I want to play the video for you. And if there's any Muslim would like to make a comment or to say something, you can, you know, feel free. All right, we will be happy to hear you. But we can assure everybody that Shaky Uthman is not only an ignorant, in fact, he is very helpful and useful to destroy Islam. So this is, here it says Jehovah's Witnesses asking about Islam. And what does the word Allah? Let us play the video and hear it.
What does the word Allah mean?
Exactly. So it's very interesting. Good question. Al means the definitive, means the only, and ilah is anything that can be worshipped. So al ilah means the only one that can be worshipped, the only one that deserves.
Do you see, Muslims, why your sheikhs are stupid? I think he learned, you know, Sam Shamoun, he made a poo-poo. And he said, you know, in one of his videos, as I remember, that what is similar to say like Allah is coming from the word al-ilah, but al-ilah is a different word. Il, it by itself is a word meaning God. All right, al-ilah have nothing to do with the word Allah. But if you are ignorant and do not know what you are talking about, and then how somebody he go to the Muslim and say to them Allah is the moon God, and then you say to them it's coming from the word God. So when Shaky Uthman he made a poo-poo like this, is Allah really a word mean God, or it's a name of the God? You ask any Muslim, you will see every Muslim will give you a different answer for the same stupid question. Why? Because they are very much loving to deceive. They don't know the answer themselves. So what they do, they manipulate the word to make it sound different. Ilah, you know the word il, by itself is a word mean God. The H is the spirit, and this is only goes for Christians and Jews. You remember when God he changed the name of Sarai and Abraham? Anyone remember? Which verse in the Bible in the Old Testament where God he changed their name? Anyone remember? If you remember, you know, give me the verse. So, and why he add the little this letter? That is for the spirit. Our God is a spirit. So the spirit of God is with you. So God in his spirit is with you, Abraham, and God in his spirit is with you, Sarai. So her name became Sarah, and his name became Abraham. His name was, the sound is bad, guys? My voice is good, is bad? Is my voice is good coming to you or not? Sound is good, okay. So Allah is totally different word. You see, if we go in the stupid Quran, just to show you how we can get this Abdul busted. If we go to the yellow pages of Muhammad, actually this page was open from before. Allah. Do the Muslim translate the word Allah to the word God? No. Do you see how easy to expose their lies? If the word Allah is a word meaning God, then you should translate it. And you should not say this is the name of the God of Islam. Is Allah is a name or is a word meaning God? If Allah is just a word meaning God, that means somebody is a Hindu. He can use it and he can call his God Allah. Do we have any Muslim here have the guts to call us and prove what Uthman said is true? Why you Muslims are ashamed of your God name? And now so suddenly Allah, so what is the name of your God? Muslims, if Allah is a word mean God only, you heard Uthman saying that the L, I mean look, in fact look what he did. He said L is the definite. So what the name of his God? La. It's not Ilah. What is Ilah? What is the word Ilah? What is left is La. Do you see how stupid you are, Abdul? So if we open the book of Genesis, you will see how God changed the name of Sarah, or her name was Sarai, to Sarah, and saying for Abraham, because simply he is adding a letter, the Spirit of God, to bless them with it. God is with you. The Spirit of God is with you. So when this Abdul, he tried to make the name of Allah is just a word mean God, that mean you know, so anyone he say anyone he worship any God, you know, it doesn't matter what religion, then we can call him Allah. And if this is a scenario why you say there's no God but Allah, you should say there's no God but God. You should say there's no God but God. If we go right now to the stupid Google, I mean even Google can do better than the stupid Uthman. But what he will say to him the moon God is Allah is a name of God according to Islam. Huh? I will not take a stupid Google answer. I will take only Muslim websites. I will take official Muslim websites. All right. I did not even read the article. I will show it here. This is Islam.web, very well-known Islamic terrorist website. I have been in a discussion with two friends about the name of Allah. Let us go. And then he says, both say that meaning of La ilaha illallah, there is no God but God. Both of them, they say that to him. So they translated Allah in God. All right. They also went on saying that Allah is an Arabic name and the translation into other languages is sinful. So hold on. How it's an Arabic name and how it's a word God? You see how stupid those people are? Let us go to the answer. Who cares about the question now? All perfect praise be to Allah. Okay, the Lord of the world, the Lord of the ring. I testify, brother and sister, that none worthy to worship except Allah, brother. Okay. The name Allah can be translated as God for new Muslims. You see? They see how they lie. Guys, for new Muslims, you're just stupid, you know, just tell them anything, you know, just give them a shish kebab. Who do not know Arabic language. Just as we translate them the meaning of the Quran and a hadith. As for translating the name Allah with God while translating the meaning of the Quran or hadith or book of Islamic knowledge, we don't think that this is permissible. We don't think that this is permissible. Rather, it is an obligation to leave the name of Allah. It's a name. It's not the word mean God. Its original form, as it's pronounced Allah, That because the name of Allah, the name Allah is a proper name of the Lord, of our Lord. It's not the word me God. It's not even permissible. So Sheikh Uthman, he is practicing taqiyya, lying about who is Allah. But you know, here they are saying new Muslims, somebody convert to Islam already. But what Sheikh Uthman doing is bigger poo-poo, because simply he claimed that Allah is not even a name and never was. Al is a definite, and the rest is the word God. But if we take Al from the whole word, there's nothing left except Lah, and Lah is the moon god. If I go right now to Google and ask Prophet Google, police be upon him, and type God Lah, who is God Lah? You will find millions websites talking about this topic. Who is God Lah? What do you would say? Take a look in front of you. Figure of tooth Lah, moon god. Do you see it? This is the god of the Muslims. And you will see always the sign of the moon, because he is the moon god. He's not the moon, by the way. Somebody will say to you, like, you know, James White. James White is a Protestant, but he's an idiot. He said, somebody asked him, is Allah the moon god? He said, no. The Quran says don't worship the moon. Idiot, stupid. The moon god is not the moon. He is the God in charge of the moon. He's not the moon. There's a sun god. He's not the sun. This would happen when you speak to ignorant. The moon god is like, you know, saying the king of this land. Is he the land? No, he's the king of the land. So the second we say La, we come with one thing. It is the moon god. And you know, you can go and search like historic books. This is not from, don't take it from a Christian prince or Christians, or don't take it from, just take it from history. Here you say, it says Yah. Yah. That is an Egyptian language, not Hebrew, not Arabic. Yah is a word God. La is the name of the God. You see it? So you add AL. In the old Aramaic, AL is a word meaning God, even in the old Hebrew. If you go in the Old New Testament, you will see it says in the old Hebrew, Israel, not Israel. Israel. Ishmael, not Ishmael. Michael, not Michael. Gabriel, not Gabriel. So what is the AL at the end? Word God. The New Hebrew, AL became El. So Michael became Michael. Gabriel became Gabriel. El. So Allah is an ancient name of the moon god and is still connected to AL, not EL. For this is the ancient language. AL is a word meaning God. La is the name of the God. If La is a word mean God and AL mean God, that means God, God. Are you with me? In the Arabic today, the word AL, it's true. It's the definite, like saying the house. But this is not what the ancient language. Like if I'm talking to people who they are beginners, I say, okay, just to make it sure, to make it simple for you, al is a word used today as the. La is the name, the la. But if you go to the original, it is two words. This is why if you go in the Quran, you will find in the same chapter, chapter 1, the chapter which the Muslim repeat every day, oh, you guys, you don't see my screen? Do you see my screen? Why you don't see my screen? Hold on. Oh, you see my screen? Okay, good. For some reason, my screen was showing me. Yeah, if you go to chapter 1, and by the way, again, we are in the Discord. If you are a Muslim and you will try your luck with us. So look here. Bismillah al. I'm trying to highlight only the L, but it's not working. So the first letter and the second letter, but it's highlighting the third letters. If you look at the same word, but just the second line, you will see something is missing. It might look for you there's only one letter is missing. No. Here the first letter L, which appear here, is not the same. Here it says Alhamdu li lah. Li here coming as two. It's like saying a word by itself. In English, you say two, like thanks to, not two as number. So here it says Alhamd, thanks, praised. Two, this is L, the first letter, lah. That's why here the first letter disappear and replace here by a letter li, which mean two. So if we are saying thanks to lah, what the name of your God? Remember, you cannot take letters out of a name. You cannot. You can add letters, you cannot take letters. Like I understand, like as an example, when you say Muhammad, like here, actually Ar-Rahman or Alhamd. Here we don't have, in English, we don't have the letter Ha, this letter. So what they do, if they want to cite it in Arabic, they use the letter H, Ar-Rahman. A person who doesn't speak Arabic, he say Ar-Rahman. Why? Because you don't have equal letter to it. So when Ibn Farouk, the Ketchup boy, he said that Allah is not a name, I want to take you for that. I want to challenge every stupid Muslim in the world to tell me what is the name of your God then. As long Shaky Uthman, he said that Allah is two words, two parts. Al is definite, the, and La is the name of your God. Sorry, it's a word mean God, he said. So what the name of your God? You Muslim don't have God name? You don't have any?
What does the word Allah mean?
Exactly. So it's very interesting. Good question. Al means the definitive, mean the only, and ilah is anything that can be worshipped.
Hold on, what is the word ilah? What is the word ilah? You stupid liar. The guy said to you what the word Allah mean. Did he say what the word al-ilah mean? Do you see how they, and obviously this guy is supposed Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, no wonder he's Jehovah's Witness. He's stupid. I mean, you cannot be Jehovah's Witness and you're smart. The guy asked you, what is the name? What Allah mean? He did not say what al-ilah mean. He said, what Allah? What he answered, he said, al mean the, definite. Al-ilah. What is the word ilah and the word Allah? Even in their translation, look how stupid liars they are. Even in their translation,
worshipped. So Al-Ilah means the only one that can be worshipped, the only one that deserves to be worshipped, the only one worthy of worship. There is
this was me.
no other deity that
No other deity
should be worshipped. Not Jesus, not Muhammad, not idols, no saints, no
uh-huh.
Saint Peter, no Saint Paul. The
Uh-huh.
only one that can be worshipped is that creator.
And what does the word Allah mean?
Exactly. So it's very interesting. Good question. Al means the definitive, mean the only, and ilah.
See it? See how they lie? Is the word ilah exist in the word Allah? Why we have E here? What ilah have to do with the word Allah? Any Abdul? Abdul, it turned to be that you don't have God name. You don't have you don't know the name of your God. Ilah. Your God Allah does not exist. This is the word ilah. But ilah is a word meaning God. Any God. In Arabic, if I want to talk, you can read hadith. The word aliha, ilah is mentioned in the Quran many times about even pagans. Baal is ilah. Do we have any Abdul in Discord would like to join us? Any smart Abdul? Why you say there is no God but Allah? If Allah is just a word meaning God, just say there's no God but God. But you cannot become a Muslim by saying there's no God but God. You have to name the God. Which one? There's many gods. There's no God but God. I mean, the Shahada by itself is just so stupid because you just deny the existence of God and then you say, oh, there is one. Because you just said no God. You did not say, okay, let's say he's refuting Christian says no Jesus but Allah. No, he said no God. Any Abdul? Who is a Muslim would like to join us and make us cook us? You know, like Muslim, they can cook you easy. They can refute anybody. I mean, this guy Uthman, he will never even dare to speak to me for 5 seconds because he knew that this will be the end of his career if he have any beside the ketchup. Any Muhammadan? Huh? So you Muslim, you don't have God name? Your God is not exist? Is any God? The Hindus, can you call their God Allah? So why the Muslims in Malaysia, they made a case against the Christians because they used the word Allah there and they forced them by court not to use it no more. And look, it says that Allah beside the name Allah, it's a name. It's not the word mean God. The word God is not a name. The word dog is not a name. It's any dog. The word cat is not a name. It's any cat. Right? And there's millions of gods people worship, you know, regardless of their existence or true or not. But for those people, he exists. So beside the name Allah, demonstrate all his other beautiful names. Allah said, what means? And all most beautiful names belong to Allah, including Monica. And by the way, this verse here, because the Arab, they were questioning Muhammad, how come suddenly he is giving his God a new name, Ar-Rahman? You see, if you go to the Quran, and it's proved to us that the Quran is messed up. The Quran never was like this. How we know? Verse number 1 is Ar-Rahman. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, the word Rahman did not appear in Islam until more than half of the life of Muhammad after he became a prophet, supposedly. So how it appeared in the beginning? That's why here in the article they are saying it was a response for the people saying, why Muhammad calling Allah Ar-Rahman? Do we have a new God now? So Muhammad, he responds, claiming that Allah told him, I call him Ar-Rahman or I call him Allah. All the beautiful names belong to Allah. Hijack all the names. That's it. He could not refute them. Why? He received a letter from a guy, his name Rahman al-Yamama. He claimed to be a prophet. His God, his name is Rahman. Muhammad hijacked the name. When he was writing the letter to him, he said, in the name of Allah ar-Rahman. The Arab right away, he said to him, you have Muhammad, you have a new God name now? You know? Uh, what what is this? Who is ar-Rahman? The only Rahman we know is Rahman al-Yamama. Read carefully here with me in this chapter, chapter 17, verse 110. Call Allah or call upon Rahman. By the way, translation is false. It's Ar-Rahman. So what is the topic? I call him Allah or I call him Rahman. By whatever name ye call upon him. It's a name. It's not a word meaning God, you idiot. And now Muhammad, he hijacked a new name for his God. More than 50 verses passed, chapters, and yet Muhammad never said in the name of Allah ar-Rahman. He never used the word Rahman. And this is why we know the Quran is corrupt, because where is the Rahman? Why the Rahman don't appear in every chapter? The Muslims, they say that the first chapter Muhammad received from so-called Allah was at chapter 96. Let us go there. This is what they claim. All right. You notice with me here, Ar-Rahman is not in the beginning of the verse. Read carefully. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is not number one. Do you see it? It's not number one. This is additional to the Quran. So the Muslim, they lie. They say we did not add things to the Quran. It's added already. Otherwise, why you put it there? If it is not there, why you add this there? You see, in the name of Allah, they translate the word Rahman as beneficent, which is false. So Muhammad, how come Allah never told him, call me Rahman all this time? You know what I mean? Like what? He just remember? No, we know the story. He received a letter from this guy, Rahman al-Yamama. He liked the name. He claimed to be a prophet. His name is Rahman. He called himself Rahman. And he called his God Rahman. And he's from Yamama, so they call him Rahman al-Yamama. So he received the letter. It says, in the name of Rahman al-Yamama. Muhammad, he answered, in the name of Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And here you see that this is a name. It's a name. It's not a word, not in the name of God. It's a name. By whatever name, not word. Do we have any Abdul? Portugal banned the burqa. That's bad for Muslim women, because now how they can cheat. The best way for cheating is to have a burqa. When I was in high school, I have a kid with me in the school. This kid is an idiot. He see a girl, he flirt with her, he keep walking behind her. Anyway, so the girl, she is wearing a burqa. He keep walking behind her. We enter, like we leave the school, girls and boys. He's walking behind this girl. He speak with her. He speak filthy language too. Like, I like your butt. You're so sexy. He keep walking, keep walking. She go in the same direction of his house, and then she entered the same street, and then she stopped in the front of his house. He said to himself, "Uh-oh, she knew me, and she will tell my dad." That's what he thought. It turned his sister, turned to be his sister, because there's no way to know this is his sister. She's wearing burqa. When you are wearing burqa, you can walk in the front of your husband in the street with another guy, going to sleep with him, and he will not know this is you. It's the best way to cheat. And then he came to my house. How I know about it? He came to me. He said, "Can I sleep over?" I said, "Why you want to sleep over?" He said, "Oh, this is what happened. You know, it turned to be my sister. And if I'm afraid if I go now, my dad will be angry. He will beat the hell of me." I said, "I'm not going to get a pervert like you in my house. Get out of here. Go somewhere. Yeah, please, you know, or sleep anywhere." I said, "No, no, not you." Yeah, going after his sister, and she did not talk to him in purpose. She want to get him busted. She did not mention one word. Otherwise, she can say, "You stupid. I'm your sister." So he's walking behind her, speak filthy language. How will you know, even if it's his mother? So when you say you banned the burqa in Portugal, that is not, you know, good news for the Muslim women. They love it because simply she can cheat now. I mean, now she can cheat. I told you before the story of the guy who, you know, he have a bars over his windows. He have a steel door for the house. He don't have a phone. The phone he lock it. When he leave, he put it in the closet. He lock it. And he is so happy with his wife because she don't leave the house at all. She don't even ask to leave the house unless she is with him. She's a very decent woman. And when her friends come to visit her, they come only when he is home. Look how decent she is. So every few days, a woman wearing burqa, she come and knock at the door. Because Muslim women should not talk to strange men. The guy, he opened the door, he see a woman wearing burqa. He say, "Wife, your friend is here. Go to their room." And then this woman, she go to his wife room, and not only that, he go and make them tea. Look how, because he's happy. His wife, she never complained about not getting out. Few months after, his sister came to visit him, and now because she is a female, she can go to their room. So he told his sister, "Oh, my wife, she have her friend, which always come to visit her. Go and join them. She's there." The sister, she went in, she found a guy, boom, boom, the wife. So few months, this guy coming into the house wearing burqa, drinking coffee, tea. The husband, he make it, he knock at the door. He cannot open the door. Haram, haram. He cannot see them. Haram. So he knock at the door. He say, "Honey, I have the tea here for you." Even look how he's spoiling her supposedly. Yeah, she's, you know, she is she live like a cat in his house. She see nobody. She don't get out. Her boyfriend come and sleep with her. When the husband is home, and the husband himself, he opened the door for him. He make coffee and tea and bring fruits for them. So the burqa is very beneficial. In the name of Allah, the beneficial burqa. When the American, they were, you know, chasing ISIS, many ISIS leaders, they run away wearing burqa. Go check it out. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, salam.
Why are you making up lies about Islam, brother?
I am making what?
Why are you saying these things? I mean, most burqa women are not like this. You know,
I'm,
you're
I'm not.
saying that
I'm
all
not.
of them.
I'm not saying most. Did I say most? Did I say most? Did I say few? I said
But you're
burqa.
insinuating.
I said burqa is the easiest way to cheat because simply you do not know who is behind the veil.
But didn't Mary used to cover her hair? Didn't most Jewish women cover their hair?
Show me where it says that she wear burqa. Burqa in the Old Testament.
She
It was
didn't wear burqa, but she covered her hair. She didn't wear burqa, but she
no,
covered her hair.
no, covering their hair. Even men, they cover their hair in the Middle East because it's dusty, and this is a tradition. Have nothing to do with being decent or not decent. If you live in Saudi Arabia, if you are a Bedouin, you cover your hair too. You cover all your head. Why? Because of the dust, sandstorms, and you know, and the sun. So covering the hair, it's for men and women. It's not only for women, correct?
Yes, but they used to dress modestly. They didn't dress like Christian
Modesty,
women today in bikinis.
modesty is not about covering the hair. Modesty is about you not spending money to show yourself up, like putting makeup, showing even your skin, spending too much money, gold and silver. So modesty have nothing to do with covering hair. God, when God He created your mother and my mother, did He create them modest or He created them in a bad way?
He created them in the bad way because this is biology. They
No,
grow up.
that's false. That's false. It's sad that you think that your mother is bad.
We're all born naked. That's the reality of it. But only through
No,
Allah.
God gave you hair.
I'm actually bald.
You know, some cases it can be. You know, maybe the lice ate it, but this is not about what uh, uh, God did not. Where your God, by the way, in your Quran says the women should cover her hair. If you can show me the verse, you are my hero. Go ahead.
So I'm part of the nation of Islam. I'm not part of mainstream
You
Islam.
are
I
not
believe that
you are not a Muslim because simply you have a false religion additional to the false religion of Islam. You are following Faraqan, who believe that
Elijah Muhammad.
Elijah
No, Elijah.
Muhammad is a fraud because first of all he fabricated a new religion and he
No, he
fabricated a
saved
new
black.
books and he fabricated a new prophet. According to you, nation of Islam, Muhammad was a black man, correct?
Yes.
Can you show me reference?
People in Saudi Arabia have brown skin. Black is the reference
I
to
never,
people of dark skin.
have you been in Saudi Arabia before?
I have many Saudi Arabian friends, and many of them
My
have dark
friend,
skin. Yes.
go right now, check, type Saudi Arabia and tell me how they look like. Where is the black? The only black in Saudi Arabia
They're
is
brown.
the black in Saudi Arabia. There's no real black actually. But if you find those that used to be the slaves of the white Arab. Since
No, there are
when?
no white Arab. That's false. I don't. There's no white people in
I
Saudi
am
Arabia. They will burn your skin.
I am an Arab and I am white.
You're not an Arab. No, you're Palestinian. I know from your.
I'm not a
I know from
Palestinian.
your lahja. From
I
your
am.
lahja. Yes. Yes.
Listen,
Yes. I
listen.
know. I aren't Arab.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Yes, you're from Jerusalem. You said you're from Jerusalem. You said you were born from Jerusalem.
I never
I
said
know.
that.
Remember
I
one of your
never. Okay,
podcasts?
can you show me?
Yes, you did.
Can you show me the video? I challenge you. Either you apologize, saying that you are a liar, or you can say, "Show me the evidence." Go ahead.
Okay. Do you know the video when you were angry about this woman because she was an Orthodox nun, and then you said, "I've lived in the Middle East for 40 years."
Yeah,
The
in the
Orthodox
Middle
nun, you were
East,
making fun of her.
not Jerusalem.
Yeah,
In the Middle East,
yeah, but she said, you
is
said
Jerusalem
Jerusalem.
is
You said, I'm
Jerusalem
from Jerusalem.
is Jerusalem is the Middle East, or it is a city in the Middle East?
You said, I was born in Jerusalem
No,
40
I
years
never
ago.
did that. I said we are from there.
Yes,
We
you
know
did.
what you thought about it. That's not Jerusalem.
Pull up the video. Pull up the video. I'll show you.
I play
This
the
is from
video. I
the
never
Orthodox.
said I am from Jerusalem. You are a liar. Apologize.
Show me the video.
Play it. Play
Show
it.
me the video.
The one you are the one who mentioned it. Good. Play it for me. You have to apologize. You are a liar. You are a liar.
No. So what?
I did not say I'm from Jerusalem.
You're scared because you don't want people to find out who you really are.
You
That's why you're not
see,
showing your face.
no, you see, first of all, there is no Palestinian. You're an idiot. There's not a single person is a Palestinian. Palestinian are not Arab. The Arab are not
You
Palestinian.
said that you're an Arab.
I am an
You said that
Arab, not
you're an Arab.
Palestinian. A second ago, you told
From
me.
Saudi Arabia?
A second ago, you told me Palestinian. Palestinian, they are not Arab.
You from
Palestinian means
Saudi
potato. Listen,
Arabia?
Palestinian mean foreigners. Foreigners, not native, which means they are not from there. So the second you say to somebody you're Palestinian, you are saying to him you are illegal migrant.
Illegal migrant.
Yes,
They're Canaanite.
yes, no, they cannot have nothing to do with.
Palestinian were
Listen,
Canaanite.
listen. You're just ignorant in history. I asked you a second ago, a minute ago, what is the proof that Muhammad is a black? You told me there's no the Saudi are black. Can you show me reference?
If you look at Saudi Arabian people today, their skin is not white, simply because the harsh sun will burn their
The
skin.
Saudi
So having
Arabia
dark,
today, my friend, Saudi Arabia today is not white.
No, if you look at their skin, they're brown. Brown people are
Okay, is the royal
black.
family?
Black is
Is the
doesn't mean they have dark
is the
eyes.
royal?
They have brown.
Okay, do you know the grandsons of Muhammad?
The grandson, yes, Hassan and Hussein, correct.
No, no, the grandsons of Muhammad, supposedly those who claim to be they are descendant from Muhammad.
They're the sons of Fatima. Yes, yes.
Okay,
Fatima was the
are they
daughter.
black?
Ali was. I believe so. Yes,
Can
yes.
you show me
Because
one?
brown
Can
people
you
are.
show me one of them is black?
I can't prove it to you. I don't have a picture, but I know that they're black because the people back then they have dark skin,
All
just
right,
like the ancient
I'm
Egyptians.
going to show you. I'm going to show you in front of everybody in the screen. I will share my screen with you. I will type in YouTube right now in the front of everybody. Prophet Muhammad descendant. Let me share my screen with you.
People who said that in ancient.
Hold on. Do you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, I
All right.
see.
Prophet Muhammad descendant. Let us see. Find the video. Here we go. Do you see it?
Yes, but this was 1,000 years ago,
What do you mean
1,400 years
thousand
ago.
years ago?
Intermarriage.
Listen. What do you mean
Those are the
1,000 years ago? Where is the black one? Where is the black? Look at the pictures.
this person,
Do you see any of them is black?
the Ottoman Empire. They brought European women to marry.
Listen.
So this made their
What the
descendants
old
white.
man have to do with this now? I ask
Because
you.
these people exist today. This Muhammad lived 1,400 years ago.
Okay,
People change
listen.
after
So
1,400
Muhammad
years.
descendant today they became blonde.
Yes, because the Ottomans used to bring the European women for the slaves of the Ottoman. The Europeans used to bring them
Well,
daughters,
I have a bad news for you. I have bad news for you. I can right now
yes.
open any TV station from Saudi Arabia, and you tell me what is the black people in it. Is that fair? We
Yeah.
can we can
Yes.
we can go right now and check in Saudi Arabia what the percentage of the black. Is that fair?
Black does not necessarily mean African genius. It means people with dark skin. People with
Ah,
brown.
okay.
That's
You know
what it
what?
means.
Hold on. I want to ask you a very simple question. Either
You
you
can
are
be
either
Indian and have
listen,
dark
listen,
skin.
listen.
You can be Indian and very dark skin.
Nation of Islam. I can challenge you in front of everybody that all of you are a bunch of a fraud. I can challenge you to prove to me where you get the conclusion that Muhammad was black. Where do you get this from?
Because people in Saudi Arabia could not have light skin because it would burn. It
What do you
common
mean could
sense.
not? What do you mean could not? You are an
They
idiot.
cannot provide
You are
what
an
you get.
idiot. You are an idiot. Tunisia is in Africa, and they are all blonde, and
That's because of intermarriage and not native.
they are native. Listen,
No,
listen.
but they are
I
native.
am
They
asking
married.
you. Okay. What if I show you Muslim book says whoever say Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad is black, kill him? What
I
if I,
don't believe in
what
Sahih
if I show
Quran.
you?
Sahih
Okay. How you explain then the Quran saying the bad ones Allah will make them black?
that the Quran is corrupted. Like I said, I'm not a Sunni Muslim. I believe
Ah, the
that there's
Quran
many
is
Umayyads.
corrupted. So how you know
Yes,
who's Muhammad?
I believe.
Okay, is Elijah Muhammad a prophet?
Yes, of course he is.
What his
This is
name?
why I went. I
What the name of
I
his?
left
What is the name of his?
Christianity. I
What
converted
is
from
the name of his book?
Christianity
You are an idiot.
to
You are an idiot. You are trying to avoid my question. What is the name of your prophet book?
Message to the Black Man.
This is from God.
Yes.
And what
Message to the Black Man. That's the book I read.
is that a message from God?
Right. Yes, I believe that Allah, He put
Who
these divine spirits in him, and then there's
he
also a
sent
book
what?
called How.
He sent what? He sent what?
There's a movie called Malcolm X. You should watch it.
My friend
It's about Elijah.
Malcolm X is a racist person, the same as Muhammad Ali. All of you are a bunch of racists trying to
Yeah, I
fight.
hate.
Yes, you are
Yes, I
racist
don't like
because you are racist
you are racist.
and you hate the white people. You are trying to find an organization, to establish an organization for the black, but Islam is anti-black. Allah, He hate the black.
No,
And look what you said to me.
that
You said to me the
no,
Quran.
no.
You said
That's
to me the
false.
Quran. Hold on. Everybody heard you a second ago saying the Quran is corrupted,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
All right.
because of Bani Umayyad, the Umayyad.
As long the Quran is corrupted, was the Quran true one day?
Yes, but
All
then
right.
Bani Umayyah changed the
All
Quran.
right, Bani
They
Umayyah,
lied. There was
guys,
lie.
Bani Umayyah changed the Quran, no problem. I agree with you actually. But the Quran in
Yes,
front of you
Osman,
is not the same
Osman.
Quran. Not the same Quran was made by the Arab, not by Muhammad. Muhammad never exists. Actually, there's no person whose name is Muhammad, but there's no proof of
So
him.
who? Yes,
But listen. If I ask you right now, the Quran which you say it's corrupt, do you take any verse
yes,
from it? Do you have any? Did your so-called prophet Muhammad Elijah, did he take any verse from the Quran?
yes. There's one verse that says, if you take one step to Allah, Allah will take two steps to you.
It's a verse says what?
If you take one step to Allah, Allah
Uh-huh.
will come two steps
And
closer
and
to you.
that's it. This is the only verse in the whole Quran. Is it true?
There, there's some verses that Elijah was had tanabbu in. He was
Ah,
he had a vision that were true.
Tanabbu. Okay.
Elijah
Uh,
Muhammad is the
and
prophet.
how this guy Faraqan, who every secretary she worked for him, she have a baby from him almost. How he can become a prophet?
Those are lies. Those are scandals. I don't believe that.
They are
They're not.
scam.
This Malcolm X.
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
I
No.
saw
No.
tons
No.
of videos. I saw tons of videos. And these days, if you say something not far right, people can sue you. So those women who make videos about him, they are lying.
Yes. Yes. Of
Uh,
course they're lying.
all right.
No.
So
Malcolm
so
X is
why
lying.
why why Faraqan was taking money from Al Qaddafi if the Quran is corrupt? Al Qaddafi don't say that. Why he take money from Al Qaddafi?
Because Al-Qaddafi was an ally of the African people. Even though he has light skin, he fought against the Western powers.
Hold
So
on.
Farqad,
Al-Qaddafi, he believed, and he make a movie. It's called Al-Risala, and he believed the Quran never been changed, and he claimed even he is descendant from Muhammad too. So you are
I
saying to
disagree
me,
with him.
so you are saying to
Yes.
me, you are saying to me that Al-Qaddafi, he is a false Muslim, but because he give you money, you kiss his ass.
No, it's because he was an ally of the African person,
How he
of
is an
African
ally
people.
to the African? What he did to the African? Tell me.
He calls himself the Malik al-Muluk al-Afariqa, the king of kings of
Exactly.
Africa.
He is just a
He was
madman.
proud.
He is just a madman. He wanna f
He
every
was
woman.
proud.
He wanna f every secretary like your prophet, and he called himself the king of kings because this is in fact Muhammad said that the one who called himself the king of kings is the enemy of Allah. And now you are saying to me he's an ally to the African. What he did to the African? Nothing. He killed them. He raped them. He stole them.
No,
Go check.
he helped the
Go
African.
check right now. Type slaves in Libya. Type now. Slaves in Libya. Slavery in Libya.
Yes, they're black slaves, they're white slaves, there's
No,
everything.
no, there's
But I
only,
don't agree.
don't lie. There's only black slaves. You're a liar.
Can you share with me a picture? Show me right now. Can you share with me a picture? I want to see that.
I
I
just,
don't agree with everything
I
Qaddafi
can
does.
type. I can type slavery. You can do that too.
Okay.
Slavery in Libya. Here we go.
Okay. I don't agree with everything Qaddafi says, but he helped our cause. He gave us money to
No,
establish our
he
church.
helped Farrakhan. He want to use him to destroy America. He don't care for your if African. You're an idiot. Okay.
An enemy of my enemy is my friend. Just like how you
Uh-huh.
love the
All right.
Mossad,
All right.
even though you hate Jewish people
Okay.
because you hate Muslims. Enemy of
Uh-huh.
my enemy is my
All right.
enemy of
Okay.
my enemy is my friend. You
Yeah,
work
the
with
enemy
both.
of my enemy. Here we go. I just type slavery is in Africa and sorry, in Libya. And this is what you say right away. You can do the same.
Okay.
You can do
Okay.
the
Let me
same.
ask you a question.
Don't ask me a
Let me ask you.
question. Don't ask me a question. Are those our slaves in Libya? Yes or no?
Those people are kidnapped. Yes.
Okay, by
This is
who?
after
By who?
by the Islamic State that took over
No,
after Qaddafi
no,
fell.
by all the Libyan. The Libyan, this is what they do. They capture them, they rape their women, they force the men to work for them slaves, and they will not let them go.
Okay, well then I hate the people who do this.
All
Yes, I
right.
condemn them. If somebody does this, I'll hate
Al-Qaddafi,
them.
he do that. Al-Qaddafi, he kidnap people, he rape people, he kill people, his own people too.
Well,
But you take,
well, screw him. Enemy of my let me explain.
but yet you claim that he helped the African. Look how hypocrite you are. Just because he give you money, you kiss his
No,
ass.
Stalin, he was an enemy of the United States, but they sided with him in World War II to fight Hitler. Same thing. He's like Stalin to us. He's a lesser of evil. You see what I mean?
You're
It's
an
like the Soviet Union.
you're an idiot. You are claiming that Qaddafi was fighting Hitler.
No, you're not understanding. Like in World War II, America supported the Soviets not because they loved communism, but
No, they
because
did
they were
not.
scared that Hitler was going to win.
You are ignorant in history. They did not support the Soviet. They were defending themselves
Yes,
because
they did.
no, the Japanese attacked them and they attacked back.
That's correct. But
Yeah.
America
What
got
does have to
involved
do with
in
the
fighting
Soviet?
Germany.
What does have to do with the Soviet Union? You are an idiot. Let us go back to zero.
Let me explain.
I challenge you to show me an evidence that Muhammad was a black.
Any person who lived in Saudi Arabia who has skin that's not considered white, we
I am
consider
asking
black.
you, give me
That's like
evidence. Don't give me a shish kebab. Give me evidence. Is that history book you have? Is that fiction book? Is that a Tom and Jerry book? Or this is just a fabrication of those, racist, the Nation of Islam. You are a racist person.
yes, I don't.
You believe,
You know
hold
why
on,
I like.
hold on.
You know what? Hold on, let me say.
Your Faraqan, he claimed that the white man is the devil. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes,
All
yes.
right.
This is why I love
Do you have
Christianity because I don't want
so
to worship Jesus, the white man. Because I don't want to worship
is
Jesus,
that
the white.
according to Allah that the white man is the devil?
Yes, yes.
All right.
I
I want
believe
to
that
ask
the
you,
black man is the devil.
Abraham came from which country?
I don't know. I did not live four
What do you
thousand
mean you
years
do
ago.
not know? What Faraqan did not make you work as secretary for him for a day? He did not educate
Somewhere
you?
in Arabia. Somewhere in Arabia.
Abraham is from Saudi Arabia.
Somewhere. I don't know exactly where. I don't know.
Guys, this guy, he claimed to be following Faraqan and he is educated about his religion. And I asked him, where is Abraham from? He's saying to me, he's from somewhere. Is that an
There
address?
used to be. Let me explain. There used to be this evil man
Don't
scientist called
explain. Don't
Yaqub.
explain. You
He
see,
had
always those who want to explain is the idiot because they have no answer. I said to you, where is Abraham? I said to you, where is Abraham from? Don't explain. What do you mean explain? You tell me he's from here.
Yaqub. He was an evil white
Don't
scientist.
change the topic. Where Abraham from according to the Nation of Islam?
Can you let me speak? Can you stop interrupting me?
I am letting you speak. I want an answer. You
City
see,
of
I
Ur.
don't allow.
The city of
You see,
Ur.
I don't. I'm not a
Mentioned.
kid. I'm not a kid like you. I'm not a stupid like Farrakhan. I am not an
He
idiot
was
racist.
born from.
I'm asking you where Abraham from. Either you apologize, you and your Farrakhan, you are a bunch of racists. You are mentally ill, or you say to me Abraham was black. Because in order for Muhammad, you claim that Muhammad was from Abraham. You claim Ishmael was from Abraham. That means all of them they are black. So now show me where Abraham from.
Ur, the city of Ur. He was born in the city of Ur.
Where is that?
That's somewhere in Iraq.
Exactly. Is Iraq a black country?
Yes. Any person who is not white skin, we consider black.
Is
So if you're from
Iraq a
India,
black? Listen, Iraq is the land of the Chaldean and Assyrian. You are an idiot.
yes, they don't
Okay.
have white.
Is the Chaldean
They don't have white.
or white or black?
By our definition, they're black because they're not white. You're either white
No,
or
they
you're
are
either
very
black.
white.
Not the same.
No, they are not only
They are.
white, they are very white.
Obama, hey, listen, the potato. You know Barack
Okay,
Obama?
hold on.
He's
You see,
Barack Obama.
you are an. People would die laughing at you. If I ask you right now, what is white? Are you saying to me if somebody have white skin but he's not a blonde, he's not white?
If someone has white, it's a curse. Yes.
Oh,
If
it's a
he is,
curse.
if he,
Ah,
yes,
it's a
yes,
curse.
being white. Yes.
Ah, okay.
And Jesus came to deceive people, and he's the Antichrist.
Oof.
Because in your
Uh-huh.
yes,
Now listen.
he's white.
You are
He's the
changing
Christ.
topic, Abdul. Listen, potato is racist. I'm asking you, what is the color of
Yes.
the Chaldean?
Brown. Brown is considered black. It's a shade.
Can you show me reference?
Go. Do you know the people of Iraq? Do you know what they look
Can
like?
you show me reference?
Look at the Saddam Hussein. Look at that.
Stupid idiot. Saddam Hussein is Chaldean now. Saddam Hussein is an Arab, and Saddam Hussein is black now.
He's from Iraq. Any person who does not have light skin
He
is
is an.
considered
You are
black.
an
Like I said,
idiot.
you can be an
First of all,
Indian,
Saddam Hussein is not from. You eat donkey. Saddam Hussein is not from Iraq. He born in Iraq, but those are the Arab who invade. Secondly, is Saddam Hussein black?
By our definition, yes, because he's not light skin. Any person who's light skin is white.
Just
Any
get
person who's
out
blue
of
is
here.
dark.
Just get out of here. You are sick and potato. So conclusion, guys. Chaldean or black. Okay. Anyone don't have white light skin? Well, all of them they have light skin. Shall I show you potato? Those are the Chaldean. Go to YouTube. Type Chaldean. CH. Like this. Those are the Chaldean. Do you see how black they are, guys? Those are the
How many have read
Chaldean.
the Quran?
No, I'm not clinically No, I'm not clinically.
Hold
How
on.
many have read?
We want only Chaldean. Hold on. Let us see. Let us type here. Nation of Islam is the nation of the devil. Those are black people for you, right? Let us see the Chaldean. I mean, we type Chaldean. Look what we see in the screen. What is this? Hold on. Let me type in Arabic. Or maybe in Aramaic. But I don't have Aramaic font in my... Look at the black people, brother. Do you see the black? Those are black people. Do you see them? They are very black, brother. Look at Saddam Hussein, brother. Those are black according to him. Hilarious. Lord have mercy. Anyway, I mean, they are black. What you can do, you know, they are black. Get rid, you know, like you have to live with it. Yeah, those are black. Yeah, look like this is stupid nation of Islam do not know what the black mean. Black is a person who is black. I mean, really black. Even Obama, by the way, isn't black. He is not. So if Obama is the black, how in the world those are black? Look, those are black, guys. Those are Chaldean within. I mean, do you see how black they are? Like, isn't it obvious? And if you are white, you are cursed. It's just a gang, you know, the Nation of Islam is a gang of racists. Nation of Islam is the way to die, because simply when you are racist, you will never be happy in your life. You see anyone is white, is your enemy, right? You will never have peace. And not only that, you will be killed. Because the second you try to take action based on what you believe, they will kill you. Do your potato Farrakhan dare to practice what he told you? Okay, the white man is the devil. So what you want to do about it? You sit like a dog. You do nothing, right? We as a Christian, we believe black people are our brothers and sisters. We believe Asian people are our brothers and sisters. For the Bible says there's no Greek, there's no Hebrew, there's no slave, there's no free. For all is one in Jesus' name. You follow Farrakhan, you are following the devil, and you are going to go to hell. Look at the black guys. You see those black people? You see them? Those are black people dancing. Do you see them? According to the stupid nation of Farrakhan, those are the people of Abraham. They are black. Lord have mercy. Yeah, everybody is black here. Look, you know, oh, look at them. They are black, brother. They are black. Look at the black people there. They are black everywhere. Yeah, what an idiot. Hey, she's black, and he's black too, right? Another black. More black coming. She is black and he is black. I mean, the whole country is black suddenly, just because the nation of Islam says so. A bunch of idiots. And the funny, you call yourself Elijah. What is the skin of Elijah? Black. Everybody's black. Unbelievable. You know, the Chinese, they say he's left as a donkey, never come back as a horse. Racism, racism is an act of filth, an act of stupidity too. It's like you are a dog, you want to bite everybody, and then everybody will bite you back. Do you know why the black stone is black? Because the sin of mankind, according to Muhammad. Do you know that Muhammad, he said that when Allah decided to create Adam, sorry, we click at the video. When Allah created Adam, according to Muhammad, let us escape this page. According to Muhammad, when Allah created the white and the black, how he created them? He hit the shoulder of Adam. He hit what? The shoulder of Adam. And from there, from the right shoulder came white, offspring, like white ants. Let me show you the hadith. And why Faraqan, he says the Quran is corrupted? Because he cannot find his claim in the Quran, so he have to fabricate something. So this is an authentic hadith. It is an authentic hadith. That when Allah, he created Adam, after he created him, he hit his black shoulder. Sorry, his white, his right shoulder. Abu Darda reported that Allah Messenger are saying, Allah created Adam when he created him and struck his right shoulder and brought forth his offspring white like small ants. And he struck his left shoulder and he brought forth his offspring black as though they were charcoal. Then he said to the party from the right side, which means the white, you go to paradise and I don't care. And to the party goes from the left shoulder, you go to hell and I don't care. So according to your God, the God of Faraqan, the black will go to hell and the white will go to heaven. And this is why the Quran says, in the day of judgment, faces will turn black, and those are like me. Allah will punish me, will make me black. And even if you are black, Allah will blacken your face more. So black is a punishment in Islam. Black is a penalty in Islam. If you go to chapter 27, verse number 82, and read the interpretation, according to Muhammad, Allah will send a beast from the ground. Allah will send what? A beast from the ground. And what this beast will do? This beast will come with the staff of Moses and the ring of Solomon, and is going to hit the non-Muslim, and will make a black spot in his face, and will hit the Muslim in his face and will make a white spot in his face. And then this white spot will spread and become totally white. And same happened for the black spot for the non-Muslim. He will become totally black. And here we go. Let's read together to show you we don't make things up. We are not, I am not Faraqan, who every secretary with me and in my lab. In Sahih Muslim, blah, 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 blah. Let us see, go down. Here we go. Let us read the English. It will strike the nose of the disbeliever with the ring of Solomon, and will make the face of the believer bright, not bright, white, by the way, translation is false. But we will show you actually soon. Actually, if I type the word white right away, just to show you that this is false translation, here we go. So there will be no believer without making a white spot in his face, which will spread until his face is shiny white as a result. And there will be no disbeliever left without making a black spot in his face, which will spread until his face black as a result. Do you see it? And then when people they meet together, one say to the other one in the market, he say, "Oh believer, oh disbeliever," how they knew? Because if you are black, you are a Christian prince. If you are white, you are Mimi Hijab, you know, the hotel guy. So how much is this with disbeliever? So because now there's two kind of people, black and white. I don't know what happened to the Asian in this case. So black and white. The black is us, the Christians who believe in Jesus, or if you are an atheist, or if you are a Hindu, anyone don't believe in Islam, Allah will make him black because this is a penalty. And anyone who is a Muslim, Allah will make him extremely white. It's in front of you. And that will be done by the beast which will come down from the ground. And this beast have description as Muhammad said. Its head like the head of a bull, its eyes like the eyes of a pig, the ears like the ears of an elephant, its horn like the horn of a stag, its neck like the neck of an ostrich, its chest like the chest of a lion, its blah 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 blah. You know, just as stupid as Muhammad. Do we have any Abdul? Oh, you are white, you are cursed. And now he claimed that I am from Jerusalem. Potato. And about my accent, I speak all accents. And I prefer to speak the most understood, not necessarily my accent. If I speak Yemeni accent, nobody will understand. هذه الفلوس الجلسة عن جلوس. What I said. I try to speak it slow so you can maybe understand. Nobody will understand. Do we have any Abdul from the religion of the fool would like to jump and show us why Islam is his religion, beside the racist, false cult of Faraqan? And guys, Al-Qaddafi is a fake Muslim according to them, and the white man is the devil. Qaddafi is a white man. Yet they kiss his ass and they take the money from him. Do you see how hypocrite they are? Huh? Money. They kiss the ass of Al-Qaddafi. When Al-Qaddafi died, Faraqan died with him. Because that's it. His movement, all of it is based on the money. Free hotel, free resort, free all the Qaddafi. And those black, you know, who join him, they are looking for a free accommodation. Do you like to join the nation of Faraqan? We will have a conference in Las Vegas. Who will pay for it? Faraqan. But the one who pay for it, Al-Qaddafi. So many they start joining because of a free accommodation, free money, free hotel. He will reserve the whole hotel for them. Who pay for it? Al-Qaddafi. So the day the Qaddafi he died, Faraqan, bye-bye. Can he make the same as before? No. Can he reserve the whole hotel for you as before? No. He reserved his villas, yeah. Qaddafi, yeah? Qaddafi, he support the Irish. The same Qaddafi. The blonde. Do we have any Abdul? Faraqan, huh? This is what is missing. If you watch the videos about the descendant of Muhammad, you will see all of them, they are blonde. And then he says, oh, they start bringing the Ottoman, they start bringing them white women. You idiot. What the Ottoman have to do with the descendant of Muhammad? What? Any Abdul? All right. We will try to keep the video shorter so people can watch it. And guys, I don't have internet for the last few days, so I apologize I did not come online. I will be coming more often now because our internet is restored. Unless I cannot, our Discord is open, but not a single Muslim there to join us because they knew their size. Islam is a religion of the fool. This God, I mean, the Faraqan, he says the Quran is corrupt and Allah sent him a book. Oh boy. Guys, I just received a book from Allah. It's called Trump. Imagine how stupid you are to believe that the white man is the devil and your governor is white and the head of the chief of the police is white and the president is white. And I mean, why you don't go to work to Africa? Who's holding you? I mean, do you see how hypocrite you are? As long the white man is the devil and he is cursed. So why you don't go back to Africa? Go back. You see, I am a Middle Eastern. If I believe that the white American are the devil, why you want to live in America? You're a hypocrite. You kiss their ass. You kiss their ass day and night. Go back to Africa. Who's holding you? Who's holding Faraqan? Is al-Qaddafi willing to take you all to Africa? No. He will never do that. He wants you in America. He want to use you. He was hoping he will start a civil war. This is what he was planning for. And he found that those racists are a bunch of idiots. We can use them. You are the useful idiot. And when you start racism, so if you are 10% in America, imagine the other, let us say 80% are white. Because especially according to this guy, by the way. So they will demolish you. You want to start war between white and black? Who's the loser here? You're stupid. You should be the last one called for racism. Because the first victim of racism will be you. They will eat you alive. You are the same as the KKK. Idiot. Do we have any Abdul? Last call, last call. If you call me, by the way, Allah will give you endless penis. I mean, I know that endless penis is a good thing to have. You can use it as a cable for the internet. Elon Musk can make a contract with you. He want to connect to Mars. He can sign a deal with you to use 1% of your penis to connect to Mars. Because it's endless anyway. I mean, what percent? 1%? It's endless. Hmm? Yeah. Chaldean and Assyrian are black. And Saddam Hussein is Iraqi. Saddam Hussein is a Bedouin. Since when is Iraqi? Those are Arab who went Bedouin. They occupy Iraq. And Saddam Hussein is black now? Are you sure? Let me show you Saddam Hussein family. I mean, turn to be, everybody is black, you know, for, I didn't know that. They're black, brother, they're black. This is Saddam Hussein. They look black for you, potato? What is the picture? He's black? This guy is black? Are you sure? This is his daughter. His daughter is black too. I mean, the whole family is black. Look, they are black. They have a black hair. What do you want more? See how the black look like? Yeah. When we say black, African, in fact, you yourself, you are not even black. Let me show you how really black people look like. You yourself, you are mixed. You say, you claim that the white is a devil. That is your parents, because you are mixed. This is how black people look like. They are totally black, my friend. Where is the black Africa in America? They are like this. When the last time you saw one? I did not see. Ilhan Omar is not a black. Obama isn't a black. You have no idea what black look like. Black is a black. This is a black. This is not a black. This is a black. This is a black. This is a black. Anyone have a fair skin? This is not, those are the black. They have nothing to do with the black. This is how the black people look like. This is how the black people look like. This is a black woman. And in fact, even her, she is like a little bit not a pure black. Go check out how the real African look like. Here we go. This is real African. This is a real black African woman. Anyway, no, I'm not saying that half is a white. I'm saying the word, the description, like in Arabic, we have a word for it. We say asmar. Asmar. Asmar is a person is not black and it's not white. And it can be, there's level of it. Like you can say, like you cannot use the word aswad yet, which means black. So every language have a description for the color. Yeah, but I'm not saying they are white. But I'm saying, like Obama, since when Obama is a, when they say Obama is black, is he really black? Seriously, is he black? No. He's a mix. It's, his mother, she is white, blonde woman. He's a mix. Anyway, you are talking with people who they are confused even what a woman is. And for us as a Christians, we don't care really. We don't care of the color. Asmar is black by Farrakhan definition. No, Asmar is not a black. You're an idiot. Asmar isn't a black. This is why we call him Asmar. If he is black, we will call him black. You're a donkey. Guys, this Mohammed, he says, Asmar is black by Farrakhan definition. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, CP Mossad. Son of Muta. If he is black, you should not call him Asmar, you donkey. You should call him black. You are a donkey. So why do you call him Asmar? No, Obama is not a black. And he is not Asmar too, by the way. He's like more than an Asmar. Let me show you. If I type in Arabic the word Shab Asmar, I will type it, I will show you. Are we going to see a black person? No. Asmar. Asmar. Let us go to images. This is Asmar. This is Asmar. This guy have blue eyes. This is Asmar. This is not Asmar. This is not Asmar. This is a close. Yeah. This is Asmar. This is not. This is not. Yeah, Asmar have nothing to do with the word black at all. All of them, they are black since they are colored by American standard. You are an idiot again. There's nothing is called American standard. If you go to the government of America, you will see it says your race, your ethnic. So you put, if you are from the Mediterranean, you put white. If you are from Saudi Arabia, you put white. If you are from Libya, you put white. Even if you are from Egypt, which is part of Africa, you put white. Check it out. Unless you are really dark skin, then you can say black. And have to be really dark skin. This guy is not a black. If we type here, the Jordanians, what is the black people? The king? The people? No black. Those are the Jordanian, as you see. If we go and type Saudi Arabia, you told me, you said to me, the people of Saudi Arabia are black. I will type the people of Saudi Arabia. Where is the black? The king? The Saudi family? The people? No black. You said according to American standard, you are stupid. There's no such a thing. The Saudi, they look black for you? This is a maid. You see, this is a Filipino or Indonesian woman, maid. Those are maids. They're a slave. Those are Saudi. They are black? They are black, huh? Very black. Mental and racist. Two things, put them in one box. Just get out of here, stupid racist. Anyone is racist is not welcome here. Get out of here. For me, you are a dog. I will not even treat you better. Do we have any Muslim would like to join us?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yes, Sigma. Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
All right. What the word Allah mean?
The God, Al-Tarif, and Allah.
So Allah is not a name?
Al-Tarif makes an identity, so yeah, it's gonna be a
Is
name.
it? I'm not asking you about
It's
Al.
identity.
I did not ask you about the L. I asked you.
Yeah, I've already answered the question.
What is the name of your God?
We have 99 names. Would you like to go through them?
I did not understand what.
I said we do have 99 names.
This is not the question. What is the name of your God?
So we address him with the word Allah.
Don't give me a
If you want
speech.
to,
What is the name of your God?
I've already answered the question. Why do I have to repeat
No,
myself?
you are saying nothing. What is the name of your God?
I told you. I told you. Why are you repeating yourself?
What it is?
I told you. We address him as Allah, but there are 99
So
other
Allah
names.
is the name of your God.
Yeah, Al-Tarif identifies him.
So if you are saying to me the first two letters of Allah name are definition, correct?
Not definition. What the fuck? Yeah, not definition.
So what you are saying to me, what is the first two letters in his name?
So it's called Al-Tarif, so identifies the
I
name.
know,
So
this is what definition. Al-Tarif is definition. What's wrong with you?
okay, go ahead, make your point.
So now, if the first two letters is Al-Tarif, which is the definition, so your God name is La.
No, we address him with the full thing.
You just told me that the first two letters are the definition. They are A-L, Al-Tarif. You said that.
Wait. I do have an analogy, by the way. So my name, my last name is Sayyid. By the way,
I
my
don't care
last name is
about
Sayyid.
your name, my
So
friend. Listen.
wait.
You
I'm making my analogy. Yeah, can I finish? Yeah, can I finish speaking? Can I finish speaking? Yeah, good way. Yeah. So when you're addressing me, are you gonna say, "Oh, your name is Sayyid, it's not Sayyid"?
No, I'm asking you about the name of your God. A Sayyid
This is gonna be an analogy.
a
Are you gonna address
Sayyid,
the
a
analogy?
Sayyid mean nothing because a Sayyid can be any master. But here, is it a name for a specific person? He is supposed to.
Yeah.
All right. So now, if we follow what you said, the first two letters are not part of the name. They are al-tarif. You said that. So now what is left?
Wait.
We take them off. What is left?
I never said that. I never said that. Anyway, I have already made an analogy which establishes that the L is gonna be a part of the name, and you never countered the analogy anyway.
What are you talking about? I agree with you that the AL is not part of the name. I agree.
I never said that. I never said it's not a part of the name. I
No, you
said
said that.
identify the full
You
thing.
said, guys, did he say that AL is al-tarif, which means the definition? You said that.
Yeah. I just say that, but I never said it's not gonna be a part of the
It's
word.
not part of the name because if you say to me is the definition, that means it's the same as the word the house. Is the word the
I've already.
is the word the part of the house? No. So Allah. So what is your God name? La.
No, it's gonna be Allah. I've already made an analogy that showed that the word Al is
Don't
gonna
give
be
the
a part of the
analogy.
full
It's you
name,
who
and
say
you never counted the
you say
analogy.
the first
Wait.
letters. Listen, okay. Read the word after it. It says Alhamdulillah. Li lah. What does that mean?
Oh my god, bro.
Don't tell me, oh my God. So I want to say,
Yeah, it's gonna be
so oh my
Alhamdulillah.
Allah.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, we still spell the full thing. Actually, it's not really a real difference. Like Lillah,
The way you are speaking from
Allah,
your
it's
nose.
gonna be
Are you
the same
speaking from
thing.
your nose? We can understand you. Alhamdulillah.
I'm not speaking from another. Okay.
Li,
Wait. Anyway.
okay.
What's
Li
gonna the thing
is
change?
what happened
If
to
I concede,
what happened to the
if
name of
I
Allah?
concede, what's
Why
gonna?
Allah
If I
lost?
concede,
Why Allah? Why Allah
Wait.
lost His name?
Wait. If I concede, what will this change anyway?
What do you mean? The verse number 2 in the Quran, read it. Alhamdulillah.
Wait. No. Answer my question. If I concede that Allah's name is Allah, what will that change? Will
No,
this refute
it's not
my
about
religion?
it's not about a change. We are trying to find out. We're not talking about what that will change. I'm asking you if we agree with you, and now we have
Yeah, I'm looking.
Alhamdulillah. Li in Arabic mean to. What is the name of your God? La. Do you agree?
Okay. Let's say his name is La.
No,
Okay,
not
what's
saying.
gonna be the issue?
There's nothing that's called let's say. Do you agree or not? We're talking about facts. We're not talking about.
I'm gonna agree. What's gonna be the issue?
No. I don't want you to say I'm going to agree. I want you to give me the answer. What you believe.
I told you. Let's say it's true. What's gonna be the issue?
No, we don't want to say let's say. This is not. I want an answer.
Okay.
Is it?
Aren't you?
Is
Okay.
God
I
name?
agree.
Is your
Okay, I
God?
agree. What's gonna be the
Okay, so guys, he said that is agree.
I agree.
So don't say later you did not agree, because if you are trying saying to me, I'm just trying to agree
What's
with
gonna be
you.
the issue?
No, I want to. So you confirm, you swear by Allah that the name of your God is.
Yeah.
All right, he swear by Allah that the name of his God is La, but La is the moon God.
Wait, La and La. Wait, are you aware that there's gonna be a post-hoc fallacy?
Is La the name of the moon God? Yes or no?
Wait. Are you aware that there's gonna be a post-hoc fallacy?
But Farsi, it's you who agree with me. A second ago, you said to me, the word al
Yeah. Sure.
is not part of the name of Allah. You agreed, and this is will make it La, and La
Yeah.
is the moon.
I did agree.
La is the moon
I did
God.
agree.
La.
Are you aware that there's gonna be a post-hoc
I
fallacy?
am not aware of anything except the false Allah, because Allah is not exist. There's Ya La. La is the moon God, and
Yeah,
you
there's
agree.
gonna be a post-hoc fallacy. By the way. There's gonna be a post-hoc fallacy.
You can say whatever you want, but you are the one who came with it, not me.
Yeah, do you know what's post-hoc fallacy? Do you know what's post-hoc
Tell
fallacy?
me what is it?
Okay, wanna Google it, or do you want me to say it to you for it's gonna be something like a cause effects fallacy, where you're gonna say, oh, if this thing, then this thing, it's gonna be like a false cause effect relationship.
Anyone understand what this guy is saying?
Like for example,
Yes, you sound like somebody drank a black
uh,
label for all day long and coming to me to talk to me about your God. So now, as long Allah, his name is not Allah, why you call him Allah? Why you don't call him La? And why what La mean?
I'm
Let,
using
let us focus. Let
I'm
us
using al
focus.
tarif.
Let us focus with what you said. If Allah name is
Yeah,
La, why you call him La, and what La mean?
we still recognize al tarif as a part of the word anyway.
I don't care. You took it off. Allah, you took it off. You said al is al tarif,
Yeah, we
the
still
L of
recognize it
definition.
as a part.
No problem. So now what is left is La. So what La mean?
That's gonna be a name.
It can be a name. What that mean? What that name mean?
I'm not sure honestly.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
What if it's a bad name? So you worship a God you don't know.
What's gonna be the meaning
So your
anyway?
God, so your prophet told you that his God name is La, and you Muslim, you bow down to La and you pray to La, and yet you do not know what La mean.
Okay, what's gonna be the issue?
It can be what?
What's gonna be the issue? What is the issue?
The issue I'm showing you on the screen, La is the moon God. It's a name of the moon God.
Okay, I've already told you. This is a post of fallacies. Your
Okay, hold
argument.
on, hold on.
Your
Do
argument.
you,
Your argument.
it's very funny. Listen, okay. I want to show you. I want to show you a verse from the Quran, and I want you to tell me what is this.
Your argument is invalid. Your argument is
No
invalid
problem.
anyway.
What is this verse saying?
Okay, okay. وأنه رب الشعرى.
Who's your God?
Yeah. The Lord of Cyrus starts with the pagan. Okay. Okay, what's the issue? Okay, what's the issue? I'm still waiting. Yeah, what thing you mean?
Why you are talking to yourself?
Okay.
It's okay, it's okay. I mean, things happen, things happen. So who's your God?
Yeah, it's gonna be the god of the statue that the people worship.
So now who is your God? He Rabbu Shara.
Uh,
Who is a Shara according to you, Muslims? Ceres. What is Ceres? What Allah have to do with Ceres?
he does not have to do anything with it. He just say Allah is already establishing that he's the god of the thing that people worship. It's gonna be like a false thing
What for? You say
or a false,
so Allah is the Lord
false thing.
of a planet. His name is Ceres. It says actually a star. So what is the connection between this star and Allah?
Allah is gonna be the god of this star.
He's going to be the God of his star. What does that mean?
Yo, what does that mean? I'm still waiting.
This star is converting to Islam, you think?
Nah.
It says there he is, which is a pagan,
Wait.
which is a pagan. The pagan Arab used to worship.
Wait. wait. So you're saying, So you're saying, since this thing, since Allah is the God of this thing, then this thing should be Muslim.
A second ago, I said to you, Allah is the moon god. You start laughing. Here we go. It says Allah is the God of Ceres.
Wait, are you gonna answer my question?
I'm not asking you a question. I'm just comparing. What the difference between
I'm asking you the question. Are you gonna answer the question?
what is the question? You ask me, is that will mean yes? I said yes, it's mean. I said yes, he is the God of Ceres, is in front of you. He is a moon god,
Yeah,
pagan god.
yeah, sure. I'm asking you if
Who is the Lord of Mars? What happened?
yeah, I'm back.
Who is
Yeah, I'm asking you right
who
now.
is the Lord of Mars?
Wait, I'm asking you the question. Can you wait for a second? So I'm asking you right now.
Uh-huh.
Are you saying that since Allah is the God of this God, then this God should be Muslim?
So what? I don't understand. What?
I'm like, are you so slow or something? Like,
I'm slow, my
I'm
friend. I'm
asking
very
you.
slow. I'm slow. I believe, even imagine, I believe that the sun set in a muddy boiling water. Can you believe it? And I believe too that the coming from the backbone.
Can you,
And I
brother?
believe that women have semen. I'm so slow. So
Can you,
now, don't
brother?
change topic. Don't change topic. So now, Allah
I'm
is the
not changing
Lord.
the topic anyway. What
Allah,
the
Allah,
fuck? I'm asking
Allah
you.
is. It turned to be that Allah name is not Allah. His name is La, and He is the Lord of Ceres, and He is the moon god. So what is left? What is left for you?
Okay, the God of Sirius. What does that prove?
Prove that He is the pagan god.
How?
Well, those people, they worshipped the Lord of Ceres. They worship that.
You
I don't know. You are laughing.
wait, where
You
is
are
that?
laughing like a
Where is
prostitute.
that? Wait, chill. Wait, where is that? Anyway, in the verse.
Hmm.
Because I think you're taking the verse out of context anyway. Where is that in the verse? And the
Okay,
Allah,
hold
the
on.
Lord of Sirius.
Isn't it you who said to me that AL is not part of the name of Allah, and that make it La?
I never said that
And
anyway.
no, you
Okay.
said that. Guys, did you say I agree? You said actually you don't agree
Yeah,
with
I
me.
said I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I agree for
And
the
you
sake
are
of the
the one who
argument
said,
anyway.
it's not part of it, not me. It's you who starts saying that.
Yeah, for the sake of the argument
No,
anyway.
not
So
for the
yeah.
sake of argument, because there was no argument. You start with this. You did not. There was no argument yet. This is the first thing you said to me. There was no argument yet.
Wait,
When you
wait.
enter my Discord, you did not say even you did not say anything. Right away, you said Allah. Al is not part of the word. You
Mm-hmm.
said this is definition. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
There was no argument. So don't lie. Says, oh, this is just for the sake of
Wait,
argument.
what do you mean? Wait.
So
What do you
now,
mean there's no argument? There was no argument.
because we did not start yet. How there is an
Wait,
argument? This is the first
you
sentence you
were
said to me.
evaluating an argument over
This
there.
is the first
You
sentence
were
you said to me when you entered the chat. You did not speak
you
yet.
were
So they were not arguing
you
yet.
were
So you can say this is for the sake of argument. You said that. So now
You were evaluating and
let us
you
go
were
back. Let
evaluating
us
an
go back
argument.
to zero.
You were
Okay,
evaluating an
hold on, hold
argument.
on. You know
You were
what?
evaluating.
Forget about everything. I will give you the golden opportunity. Prove to us that Allah is even God. He's not among God
Is
according to
what?
He's God. Prove to us He's God. What is the proof that He's God?
Okay, I can do an internal critique of the Quran by presenting
Give me anything,
a
anything.
hadith or
Give me
hadith.
any,
Wait, I'm still talking.
anything.
Wait.
Give me
I'm
anything
still talking.
will prove that Allah is God.
Okay, there's a hadith in Sahih. There's a hadith in Sahih Muslim that says that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "ألم ترى إلى البرق كيف يمر ثم يرجع بطرفة عين." Where it does speak about a phenomenon which is called the returning stroke, where it does show that the lightning hits, then goes back in form of energy with a very high speed that's invisible. So what's gonna be the rebuttal of this argument?
What does have to do with my topic?
Yeah, you're asking me to prove that Allah is a God. So I'm showing you right now that Prophet Muhammad got knowledge of something that is impossible to be seen with the eye.
Everybody knows that the lighting go in a very high speed, like in a blink of an eye. This is a knowledge now.
Wait. So does anyone here? So does anyone here can see the lighting going back?
Anyone can see the light going back. What do you mean?
Does anyone here have the ability to see the lighting going back?
The lighting
the
coming
sky?
back in the hadith says the lighting coming back. What do you mean? Yes, there's many light, but it's not same light.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
Hmm.
Wait, did you I
And
ask?
this is the hadith.
Did you I ask? Did you I ask?
Listen, no, your
Did you
prophet,
I ask?
your prophet actually is very confused. He says
No. Wait.
listen,
Answer the question. Answer the question.
listen.
No, you're not going
Okay,
anywhere. Answer the
hold on.
question. Answer the
You are the
question.
one who
Answer
mentioned.
the question.
You are the one who mentioned al-barq.
Answer the question.
What is al-barq in English?
Oh my God, lightning.
What is the barq?
Lightning.
Lightning. What is accompanied with?
What do you mean accompany with?
What is about the thunder?
Yeah. Oh my God, bro. I've already told you the hadith that say
No. I'm asking you because according to the Quran, the thunder is an angel.
Oh my God.
What?
An angel
Are you going to make? Are you going to make?
an angel that does the
Are you
lightning.
going to make
How
fun?
is this even
Are you
relevant?
going to make fun of the Quran? You said that your prophet.
How is this even relevant?
You said your prophet he
How
knew
is
the.
this even relevant?
You said your prophet he knew the nature in a scientific way of the lightning, right? But this is the thunder. According to your prophet, is an angel.
How is this even relevant? How is this even relevant?
Is he an angel? Because the thunder is and the lightning they are the same.
How is this even relevant to the
When the
discussion?
lightning happened,
How is this even relevant?
when the thunder happened,
How is this even relevant?
when the thunder happened,
How is this even relevant?
because we're talking about
How is this
we are
even
talking
relevant?
about lighting. It's speaking in front of you. We're talking about thunderbolt.
How
Okay,
is this even
this is
relevant?
the lightning. Listen,
This is
thunderbolt.
not relevant to the
Do you
argument.
see it? ويرسل الصواعق فيصيب
This
بها
is
من
not even
يشاء.
relevant.
You see, this is the
This is not
lightning.
even relevant.
It's speaking about the lightning.
This is not even relevant.
It's speaking about the
It's not
lightning.
relevant.
Abdul, this is the verse about the
It's not
lightning.
relevant.
No.
It's not relevant.
So, okay, do you agree with the Quran that the thunder is an angel?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
This is another question. Do you agree with the Quran that the thunder, Mr. Thunder, is an angel?
It's irrelevant. I'm not gonna
So the thunder, so
address an irrelevant
the
question.
lightning, according to the Quran, is coming from Mr. Thunder. Do you agree?
I'm not gonna address an irrelevant question.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah, because it's irrelevant to the discussion.
No, it's relevant because you mentioned lightning, and this is lightning. This is about lightning.
How is this even relevant to the hadith?
This is
How is this even relevant
it's
to the
you who,
hadith?
guys, did he mention the lightning? You didn't mention the lightning. The Quran speak about the
I
lightning.
did mention the lightning. Do
Okay,
you want to
so
repeat the hadith?
according to the Quran,
Do you want me to repeat the hadith?
according
Do
to
you
the
want me to repeat the
Quran,
hadith?
I have the hadith. I know it before you were born. So according to
It's
the
not
Quran,
even
according
relevant.
to the
It's not even
Quran,
relevant.
the thunder is an angel. Read with me. Read. It's in the front of you on the screen. Read. Read for us.
Not even relevant.
It is relevant because you are talking about the lightning. It's about lightning. Who is the
How?
yes?
Wait,
The
wait, how?
lightning is
How?
the fire belt which he beat the cloud with it.
Okay, how would wait? If whether it was angel or not, how would this even relevant to the discussion?
So listen, is the thunder is an angel?
If
Yes.
I grant it to you, wait. If I
Is the
grant it to you, it's
thunder
gonna be the
is the
what? If I
thunder
grant it to
so
you,
lighting according to the Quran, lighting is a fire, which thunder he hit the one who he want to harm. The thunder is an angel work for Allah. And he have a lighting built, fire built, he hit the one he want to punish. You are the one who mentioned the lightning, and now you don't want to talk about it.
okay, wait. I never said that anyway. I said I'm right now asking you whether it's an angel or not. How does this affect the argument?
No, you said to me how Prophet Muhammad he knew about this. You said that to me, correct? Okay, so now how your Prophet Muhammad knew
Yeah.
that the thunder is an angel? And he
Through Jibril.
thank you very much. So according to Jibril, he is an angel who beat the cloud with belt.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So this is scientific according to you.
Wait, it's not even relevant actually.
No, it's
It's not
very
even relevant
relevant
to the
because this is
argument
about
completely.
lightning, it's about the thunder in the same time.
It's very relevant.
You are
It's
trying to
very relevant.
you are trying to
How is
escape
this even? How is this very
you are
relevant?
trying to escape the embarrassment
Okay,
that
how is
that your
how is
prophet
how is
is a very,
okay?
very,
How
very,
how
very, very ignorant, and he claimed that he received knowledge from God,
very
but
very ignorant.
in
How?
fact, he is doing tingling, tingling. He is like an Indian god who believe in tingling, tingling God. So now, where your prophet got such a false information from God?
How is this even false information? It's gonna be theological. Actually, an angel beating the
According to
and
science is
wait.
according to
I'm
science. There's an angel. His name, according to science.
you Coptic,
Yes, yes, yes.
you
Okay,
Coptic,
listen.
listen,
According to science,
wait,
there's
you little Coptic, I'm talking,
according to
you little
science,
Coptic, I'm still
there's an
talking,
angel. His name is Thunder.
you little Coptic, I'm still talking, by the way, yeah,
I
good boy,
am asking you.
listen to that while speaking, yeah,
Listen.
so this gonna be theological. This is not gonna be scientific.
According
When
to
we say that
science,
an angel beating the
according to
sky,
science.
beating the sky whatsoever, it's gonna be theological. That's not gonna be a scientific thing. So it's gonna be irrelevant to science. Now this is gonna be also irrelevant
No,
to
you
my
say, you
argument where
are the
I'm
one who
saying
mentions
that
science.
the lightning
You
hits
are the
and got
one. You
back
are the
in
one who
front
mentions. You
in,
are the one
in
who
the blink of an
mentions
eye. It's gonna
science.
be irrelevant. And
Listen,
I don't know
listen,
why you're pretending. I don't
listen,
know why you're putting it in the argument actually.
listen. Okay, so listen. Do you see the screen in front of me? This is Ibn Kathir in English. Do you see it?
No, I can't see it.
You don't see my screen, guy. Do you see my screen in Discord?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
You can see it. Okay. This is Ibn Kathir in English. Do you agree with Ibn Kathir?
Why are you changing the topic? Why are you changing the topic?
Do you agree with Ibn Kathir? Yes or no?
Why are you changing the topic?
I'm not. I'm not.
Yo, what? So, what does this first have to do with the topic?
The topic. This is the same verse speaking about the lighting. Look, it's go. You see, it says lighting.
Wait,
Do you
it's
see?
not a verse hadith, by the
Al-Baraq,
way.
Al-Baraq, lightning. Do you see it? It's you who mentioned lightning. What's wrong with you? You keep saying this is not
Yeah,
relevant.
I'm the one who mentioned lightning.
Okay, so does it
Yeah.
say
I'm the
does it
one who
say
mentioned
there
lightning. How there's gonna
does
be
it say there lightning? Yes,
yeah.
it says that, right? So now Ibn Kathir in Arabic is so different from Ibn Kathir in English. Let me show you Ibn Kathir in Arabic so people will laugh and why we cannot trust Muslims. Muslims are born liars. Ibn Kathir in English have nothing to do with the things is in Arabic. It's totally gone. The whole interpretation in English is gone in Arabic.
Yeah, I agree
Let me
on
show
that.
you. Hold on. You know Arabic, right? A little
Yeah,
bit, right? You know Arabic, right? I hope so. Read for me Ibn Kathir in Arabic and laugh with me. According to Ibn Kathir, which your prophet Ibn Abbas and Jurair and the companion of Muhammad, that he is an angel, and this angel have four faces. Do you see the screen with me? Al-Baraq, do you know what Al-Baraq? You are the one who mentioned
Yeah, I
Al-Baraq,
can see the
lightning.
screen.
The Baraq,
How would this
the
even
lightning, listen,
relevant?
listen, the lightning is an angel have
How would
four
this even relevant?
faces. The angel, the lightning is an angel have four faces. One face is a face of a cow, the other face of an eagle, the other face of a lion, and he move his tail, and that is the lightning. Now, how your prophet knew this?
I've already answered the question.
No, you did not. No, you did not. You did not. How your prophet knew that the lightning is an angel have four faces: face of a human, face of a bull, face of an eagle, and face of a lion, and then he have a tail, and then he hit his tail, he move it first, and that is lightning, brother. Is your tail moving now? Did I get you from your tail? Ah, your tail is cut. He ran away. Our Prophet Muhammad and you about those things we can say to those people who have no idea. I'm Christian Prince, my friend. I have all the laundry of your Prophet. All his panties is here. How Prophet Muhammad knew this? Huh? How he knew that? Are you serious? How he knew that? Where you learn this from, Zakir?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Where do you go? Where do you go? So now,
Yeah, how would this even relevant?
listen.
How would this even relevant to the
I
whole
want you to
thing?
read what Ibn Kathir is saying, please. Read it for me.
Oh my gosh.
Read it.
I'm not gonna read something that's irrelevant, actually. I'm gonna read
No, it
something
is.
that's
This is about lightning. You are the one who mentioned lightning. You said how Prophet Muhammad knew this. I'm asking you how Prophet Muhammad knew
Oh my
that
god.
lightning is
How
an
would this even
angel,
relevant to the
and
whole
he
thing?
have four
Wait, how would this
faces,
even relevant to the
and
whole
he
thing?
have a tail. How he have four faces and he have a
I
tail?
can say something about cakes and it's gonna be irrelevant to the whole topic.
What?
Wait. I can say something. We would we, we would be speaking about how to make a cake, and I can say, oh, cakes have cholesterol and whatsoever.
Stop, stop,
It's
stop, stop,
gonna
stop,
be
stop, stop,
irrelevant
stop,
to the
stop.
whole topic,
Listen, no, this is
and
not. This is about,
still about the
guys.
cakes.
Isn't it this
How would this
Abdul?
even relevant?
Is it him who challenged me, saying how Prophet Muhammad knew
Well, I'm
this
not gonna
about
admit
light?
relevant things.
You said that your
Let's stick on the
prophet, you
topic.
said your false prophet, he knew about lightning. Yes, I agree. He knew
Let's stick
about
on the
lightning.
topic.
Look, it's an angel and he have a tail.
Let's stick on this topic.
We are stuck with
I'm
the
not gonna
topic.
dress
You
out of the
see, we are
topic.
holding the tail of the lightning now. Stick with it.
No, we're not stuck with it.
How you're a prophet? Are you?
No, this is
Is it?
irrelevant.
Isn't it
The
embarrassing?
identity is
Isn't
the
it
identity
embarrassing
of
to find that your
the
prophet says
identity of
such a stupid
lightning is
thing?
irrelevant.
No,
The
it is.
identity of
No,
lightning is irrelevant. The
you
identity of
mention
lightning is
lightning.
irrelevant.
You have to live with it now. You did that. It's your choice. Guys, did I force him to talk about lightning? He's the one who switched to talk about it. He's the one who chose to talk about, not me. I'm not the one
Yo,
who
what
chose
do
it.
you mean, bro?
I'm
What
not
do
the
you mean?
one.
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
do
the
you
one
mean, bro?
who mentioned this.
You're
It
not
was your
addressing the
choice.
hadith.
It was your
This is
choice.
irrelevant. When I asked you about the hadith, you went to something different.
This is the same because both is coming from your prophet.
How would this the same? You're speaking about the identity of
You
lightning.
are you are telling
The
me
identity
that
of lightning is
you are
different.
telling me that your prophet he understood the nature of the lightning, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Your prophet understand the nature of lightning very well. The lightning is an angel with four faces.
Yeah. How is this even relevant?
We are talking about the same
How is
thing. We are
this
talking
even
about
relevant?
lightning. We are
So
talking
how is
about
this even
lightning.
relevant?
So when you say the lightning coming back,
Christian
your
Prince.
prophet is ignorant. The lightning doesn't come back. He is talking about more
Yo,
lightning coming back,
CP.
more
Yo,
lightning
chill.
continue. You know the lightning.
Yo, CP.
You see when you hear your prophet, he think the lightning is coming
Yo,
back.
CP.
He's talking about the
Yo,
thunder, the thunder. So
Copy.
you see the lightning first, and then you hear the sound. So he think this is the return of it. He think this is he returning. He just
Yo,
walks
listen,
so
Copy.
fast. So the hadith you mentioned to me is a mistake because he claimed that the lightning goes so fast and then he come back by sound.
Yo, this is irrelevant. Yo, little copy. This is irrelevant to the hadith.
Do we have any Abdul would like to join us beside this poor guy? He don't know what to say. He's in the corner.
Yeah.
You saw
I
that?
in the corner.
So do you agree with your prophet? Okay, I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest. Do you agree with your prophet that lightning is an angel have 4 faces and have a tail?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
As long you agree, as long you agree that lightning have a face of 4 animals, how Muhammad he got this information?
I told you before through Jibreel.
From Jibreel. Is Jibreel is lightning too?
Nah, it's made from light.
No, he's an angel. He's lightning because it says an angel. So every angel is a lightning. And therefore, Jibreel
You read that?
faces.
Wait, does say that lightning is an
Jibreel have a
angel?
face. Jibreel
One
have a face
angel.
of a
Wait,
bull. Jibreel.
Christian Prince, have you ever studied Arabic?
Your voice is not
Christian
good.
Prince, bro, who taught you English, my boy?
So your Jibreel have face of a bull.
Yo, my boy, who taught you English?
Do Jibreel have a face of a bull?
We don't know how he looks.
So how your prophet knew that this angel have 4 faces?
Yeah, there's gonna be a different angel. There's not gonna
So
be.
what do you
There's
mean he
gonna
did
be a
not know
different
how he
angel,
looked?
not Jibreel.
Jibreel came to Muhammad many times, correct?
Yeah, Jibreel came to Muhammad, and they told him how this angel looks like.
Jibreel told him how why you want to tell him how the angel look like if he can see the angel in front of him? If I see you, you're an angel, so all the angel will look the same.
Yes, I'm not sick. Or maybe he saw him. What's gonna be the issue if he saw him?
He's maybe he saw him. Okay, let me ask you. When Muhammad saw Jibreel, did he see him down the earth or in the sky?
Depends on what context.
There's no context. I'm asking you, he saw him where? In the sky or saw him in the earth?
Well, he saw him on the earth.
He saw him in the earth. So how Muhammad he found out that he have 600 wings?
He revealed his real thing. He revealed his real form.
What?
He revealed his real form.
No, listen. So
story.
Do Jibreel have 600 wings or he is a ball?
Yeah. He does have 600 wings.
Okay. Why then he use a rope to come down?
A what?
A robe. Like the one you tie somebody with. You tie somebody with the rope. Why Jibreel?
Yeah,
okay, why Jibreel he come down with the rope if he have 600 wings? He can't fly?
Yo, what's gonna be the hadith?
This is da'if hadith saying that. He come down with the rope.
Yo, where the hadith anyway?
I'm showing you a hadith which is da'if.
Okay, so why are you using it?
What?
Why are you using a da'if hadith?
So what?
What?
So what? It's da'if hadith. Quran, chapter of An-Najm, verse number 8. It says Jibreel, he come down with the rope. Fatadalla. Tadalla is using a rope to come down. What translation you like? What is your best translation?
Yeah, sorry, misclicked again anyway. Yeah, so so you were the rope in this one.
Tadalla mean he came down with the rope. He hang down.
Yo. Can I see a dictionary?
You can see dictionary, no problem.
Yeah, can I see the dictionary?
Yeah, you can. How you want to show you me? Are you asking me to show you?
Yeah, please.
All right. فتدلى. All right. It says here, it is something is hanged on the air. And then he come down with a ladder. Read it. It's you who's asked me for dictionary, right? Here we go.
ما يتدلى السنة. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna be an analogy, by the way. He's
The
making here an analogy.
So
Yeah.
he have
كما
600
يتدلى
wings.
السلم.
So he
Yeah,
have
an analogy.
six. Okay, listen. So he have 600 wings.
This is
Yet he
تشبيه.
is coming down with the ladder, which is a rope. I thought a second ago he was light.
Wait, this is تشبيه, by the way.
What تشبيه? It says تدلى. It says
a تشبيه, by
تدلى.
the way.
Not like. It says تدلى. تدلى.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing you're
So
putting
he
on
is hanged. He is hanged onto
Yeah,
something.
حبيبي, listen.
Don't call me Habibi. Are you gay? So what Habibi? Now we are in love.
No, I'm not gay.
So listen. So now it says تدلى. So he is كما يتدلى السلم. It is you who asked me to show you dictionary. Okay, we open the dictionary. Here we go. What you will do now?
Yeah, this is تشبيه. حبيبي, this is تشبيه.
What's that? What? How he have 600 wings?
I'm
Yet
saying this is تشبيه.
what تشبيه? It says he is تدلى. He is not like he is. So he is having 600
wait. حيث يشبه الشيء المتعلق في الهواء كما يتدلى السلم, as a ladder hangs. This is an analogy, a تشبيه.
Yeah, it says to you what? It says to you what? Explain.
So what? So wait. So that it's not necessarily say that the Jibril is going down.
Okay, let me show you. Let me show you. Okay, everybody.
Like
Okay, everybody will laugh at you in a second. Here we go. It says فَهَبَطَ عَلَيْهِ جِبْرِيل. So Jibril, he came down the stairs. He came down the stairs. Ibn Kathir. My friend Ibn Kathir, it says he came down the stairs.
Wait, habata does not necessarily mean
Hold
that
on.
it's going down.
Chapter 53, verse number 8. Chapter 53, verse number 8. And this is Ibn Kathir. Hold on.
Wait, حبيبي, wait.
Don't tell me
habata
Habibi
does not
again.
necessarily mean that
Focus. 53, chapter of An-Najm. Okay, verse number 8. We go to Ibn Kathir. So here it says, Ibn Kathir, here we go. Let us see together in English. All right.
Here we go.
Ibn Kathir, here we go. And then verse number 8. Wonderful. Verse number 8. Okay. Now we will see that Jibril is coming down the stairs. Let us see. Okay. The height part according to Iqrama, here's horizon, blah, blah, blah. And then he saw him with the shape having 600 wings. All right. And then let us see. Let us see if this part will show downstairs. You see, they cut it off in English. Let us go to Arabic so we can get the Abdul busted. If we go in Arabic, you will find
go to Arabic.
Look in Arabic. Look what it says in Arabic. Unbelievable. Every Abdul is a liar. They lie. Here we go. This is it says here فَهَبَطَ عَلَيْهِ جِبْرِيل. So Jibreel, he came down the stairs. Down the rope.
Yo, where the yo?
Down
why
the
you
rope.
lying?
Down the rope. Down the rope. Your Jibreel coming down the rope. فَهَبَطَ.
You're the one.
You know what habata mean? You know what habata mean?
Yo, word this in the Arabic.
What habata mean? What habata mean?
You word this in the Arabic.
What habata mean?
Habata mean going down.
Or no?
We word the dictionary.
Habata not only going down. He is stepping down. Correct?
Wait, habata. Wait. Go to dictionary and show us what does the word habata mean in
I'm
dictionary.
I'm showing you the interpretation in front of you.
No. Go to dictionary and show us what does the word habata mean in dictionary.
Does it say the word sullum? Does it say the word sullum?
No, it does not say the word sullum.
What the words? Okay, what if I show you it says sullum? What you will do?
Where the word sullum?
If I show it to you, what you will do?
Where the Muslim?
If I show it to you, what you would do?
Where the Muslim?
Okay, I don't know. I will see. But
I'm
what
not
you,
gonna do anything.
if I show it to you, what you would do?
I'm not gonna do anything.
If it is there, what you will do? You will laugh at your prophet?
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything.
Why not?
Why would I? This is the
What do you
question.
mean? I want to know what he is doing.
Where's the Sunnah? Where's the Sunnah?
I'm asking you. Okay, how he went down according to the story here?
With his, I don't know, with his wings.
When it says here, فَهَبَطَ عَلَيْهِ, is Jibreel landing on Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, did you hear it? He said, yeah. So Jibreel, he jumped from the sky on Muhammad.
Not necessarily,
No, it's you who said, yeah.
but yeah, sure.
It's you. I said to you, Sulam, which means ladder. You said, no, show me what it
Yeah,
says.
I said,
So now,
yeah,
okay.
going
So now
down,
we
yeah,
are
going
saying,
down
it
to
says, فَهَبَطَ عَلَيْهِ
yeah,
Jibreel. هَبَطَ
going down to
عَلَيْهِ mean,
Muhammad.
هَبَطَ عَلَيْهِ who? Muhammad, right? Right?
Yeah, he went down to
Okay.
him. Yeah, sure.
So now Jibreel is riding on Muhammad, correct?
No,
Okay, guys, Jibreel riding on Muhammad. This is what happened. A bunch of black men from Africa,
I said no.
the Zut. What do you
I
mean?
said no.
Jibreel is one of the Zut. He rode on Muhammad. He put his. It's
Wait,
you who said yeah. You said yeah a second ago.
wait, wait. The word هبط عليه, the word هبط عليه does not necessarily mean that
Okay,
it went down on him.
translate to me.
You can
Translate
fact
to
check.
me.
Wait,
Translate
and
to
why
me.
are you changing the topic?
Translate to me. What habata alay? What
Yo,
habata
Christian
alay
Prince.
mean?
Yo,
What
Christian
habata?
Prince. Yo,
Habata.
why you changing the topic?
Habata
Where
mean
the
what?
stairs?
Habata mean what?
Yo,
Landing?
Christian Prince. Where the stairs?
What
Yo,
habata
Christian
mean?
Prince.
You
Where
said
the
to me, show me
stairs?
the dictionary. Does it say
You
land?
where the ladder? Yo, Christian Prince. You where the ladder? Yo, where the ladder? I'm looking for the ladder. I
Habata?
still can't see the ladder.
Habata alayhi. I was trying to help you.
Yeah.
I said to you, ladder. You said
No.
no.
Where's the ladder?
You see,
Where's the ladder?
I trick
Where's the
Muslims.
ladder?
I trick Muslims. I
Okay,
said to
yo,
you,
Christian Prince. Where's the ladder?
I said to you, he came down in the ladder. You said no, where it says ladder. So it turned to be he landed in Muhammad, not on the ladder.
Wait, you said you're gonna show me the ladder.
Yeah, I
Where's the
said to you,
ladder?
if I show you the word ladder, what you will do? You insist that no, he landed in Muhammad.
Okay, where's the ladder? Why
No,
are you
you see,
changing the topic? Where's the ladder?
I made you go
Are
in
you
that
gonna say? Are
direction.
you
So
gonna say
no,
that you're
I made
lying?
you go in that
Are you gonna say
direction.
that you're
I
lying?
made you go in that direction, so you cannot go back.
Wait.
So
Are
now
you
there's
gonna
no
say that you're
ladder.
lying?
Listen,
No, no,
listen.
no, no. I want to see the ladder.
There's no
I want to see
ladder.
the
There's
ladder.
no
No.
ladder.
We're
But
not
he
going anywhere. I want to
landed
see the
in
ladder.
Muhammad. He landed in
I want to see
Muhammad.
the ladder.
Did he
Where's the
land in?
ladder?
Did he land of
Yo,
Muhammad? Did he
where's the
land
ladder?
of Muhammad?
Where's the ladder? Where's the ladder? No. Where's the ladder?
The
Show me the
verse, the
ladder.
verse is so clear. It says rope, not ladder. This is the rope. The rope is the ladder.
Yo, where's the rope? Okay, where's the rope?
It's in the front of you. تدلى.
Where's the rope? You said wait.
You cannot use the
You
word.
went. Yeah,
You cannot use the
You
word
just
تدلى.
went.
You cannot use the word تدلى except by using a rope.
No, no.
Yeah,
The dictionary you use does not say that actually.
read
The
it.
dictionary you use does not say that actually.
Okay, here we go.
Does make an
I
analogy.
will open Islamic dictionary
No,
for you.
wait.
Do you accept Islamic dictionary?
Yeah, please.
Hmm.
Yeah, please.
All right. Give me a second. Okay.
Well, you just
Remember,
went to a
now you
tafsir and you
cannot
said, "Oh, I'm
say.
gonna show you the ladder there." You're not
Okay.
doing anything.
Now you cannot say.
You're just being a
Now
liar.
you cannot say. You cannot say. I don't agree. All right. This is the Islamic dictionary. Here we go. In the front of you. I will put it on the screen. He used a ladder made of rope.
Yeah.
All right. We go to
Yeah.
the
فتدلى.
Okay, here تدلى. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
read it.
Dropping, hanging. Okay, bagging, blossing,
Okay,
drooping,
okay. All of those will be connected to to what you are holding on into something, correct? When you are coming down, correct?
where the
What?
bagging, bloating, dropping, lolling, overhanging,
Yeah.
sagging,
Uh-huh.
dangle, drooping.
Uh-huh.
Wait. Can you go down? Tadalli.
Uh-huh.
Wait, can I see the Arabic at least? I
Those
prefer the Arabic,
those
honestly.
are not one word. Those are sentence. You know, this is the band. Like you can use it for other word.
Yeah. I want to
But
see
here
the
we are
Arabic.
talking about
I want to
somebody.
see the.
We are
I want to see
now we are
Ma'ani,
talking about
the Arabic version of Ma'ani.
the word which
I want to
is
see
in
the
the
Arabic version
Quran.
of Ma'ani.
Okay.
I want to see the Arabic version of Ma'ani.
Huh?
I want to see the Arabic version of Ma'ani.
Okay. The Arabic version of Ma'ani.
Okay, wait. Okay, I got it. Don't worry. خلاص. You don't have to do.
Here we go. I will type it for you. Let us see.
Wait. Wait. So so here المعاني does say تدلى من الحبل إلى القعر البئر أي نزل منه. So it does
Translate
give
for
a
us.
definition as going
Translate,
down.
translate, translate, translate.
Wait. Wait. Okay, chill.
Give me the link you are reading
Okay,
from.
so it does say.
Give me the link, please. Give me the link.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the link. Don't worry. Okay.
No, give it so people can see.
Okay, sure. Don't worry. So it does. So it does put double dots
All right.
where it
So
does
now,
give the
guys,
definition. أي نزل منه and it went down. تدلت عناقيد العنب من الكرم تعلقت تدل قوس الشمس في السماء وأين تدلت. اوكي تدلى من الهوي هبط فيها تدلى بالبشر انحط به تدلى من الجبل أتى منه. They're all the whole thing does say that it went down. Actually, it does not say. It doesn't necessarily say it's gonna be a rope by a rope.
read. This is the link you gave me. It says
Yeah.
he
I already read
hang
it for
from the
you.
rope to the bottom of the well. Do you see it?
Wait. Christian Prince, do you know what does the word double dots
My friend,
imply?
isn't it you who gave me this link?
Do you know what the double dots imply?
Isn't it you who gave me the link?
Yeah. I'm the one
All
who gave you
right.
the link. I'm
Does it
asking you.
say
Do you know
does it
what the
say
double
there
dots
does it say
imply?
there rope?
Do you know what the double dots imply?
The Jibreel is a person. He is Tadalla, and in order to do that, he have to use a rope. So he's coming down using a rope, and this is the link you gave me.
Did you hear my question? Did you hear
You,
my question?
you gave me the link. This is your dictionary, the one you asked for.
Okay. I gave you the link. I gave you the wait. I gave you the link, but I'm asking you. Do you know what the double dots here mean?
What?
The definition. It gives a definition. Wait. Here, these two things give a definition. The double dots, the one down and the one up, they give a definition.
No
You
problem.
can
Here we
double
go.
check it actually.
Here we go. This is the
Yeah, no
definition.
problem.
This is the definition in front of you.
Here the definition is
Dalla,
gonna be.
dalla is
Wait,
an
listen. So here's gonna.
dalla is an action.
Wait.
And here it says that this is the one you put the
Yeah, it's
thing,
an action.
you put the pot inside with the rope inside the well. This is the link you gave me.
And
And
sure.
always
Wait, because I have no issue. I have
always
no
you
issue with
have to
this.
use a rope. Always you have to use a rope. It's must.
No, it's not necessary. Wait. Habibi, listen.
This is
The
what you
double
gave me.
dots
What's
here
wrong with you?
indicates a definition.
Does it say does it say that come down?
I'm talking.
He's lowered him from the
I'm
top
talking.
of the building by the means of a rope. What he is using a rope. I
I'm
said a
talking.
ladder. I said a ladder. I said a ladder. You said to me no. And then we look at the Ibn Kathir. It says he
I'm
land on him.
talking.
And then you insist. You said to
I'm
me, show
talking.
me the ladder.
Wait, the double dots indicates a definition. So here in al-ma'ani,
First of all,
when they want to give a definition, the
first of
definition here is
all,
gonna be
in
tadalla means
in
going down.
the double dot
This is
mean
what
nothing.
the word
You
tadalla
you are
means
ignorant.
according to
The double
al-ma'ani. The
dot
double dots here indicates a
the double
definition.
dot mean nothing. You are an ignorant. Secondly, this is the dictionary. Give us a full meaning. It is coming down with the rope.
Ya Rab. Yeah, can you please say in front of everyone that you're retarded?
Okay, talking about what the word retarded mean?
Retarded, retarded.
What does that mean?
Oh, what does that mean?
Okay, this is remind me of my cousin. Let me tell you something. My cousin, he went to the doctor. He told him that he
Let me
imagined
tell you
himself.
something.
He go to the
Let me
doctor.
tell
He
you
went.
something.
Hold
Wait,
on.
let me tell
You
you
remind me of
something.
my cousin. He's retarded. He go to the doctor. He imagined himself having sexual intercourse with his wife, but in fact he never did. The doctor, he said to him, "You
Wait,
are."
are you sure that this is not?
He said to him, "You are
Are
retarded."
you sure that this is not a genetic? Are you sure that this is not a genetic disease? Are you sure that this is not a genetic disease that your family have?
Maybe. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe you're retarded
Because
actually,
he
like
imagined
your brother.
himself. Because he imagined himself having sexual intercourse with his wives. In fact, he never did. And you are saying to me this is genetical disease, correct?
Yeah, Christian Prince. You imagine having a brain.
Yeah.
You're not different.
Okay. So are you saying to me the one who imagine things happening they are not true? He is mentally ill and he have like a
No,
disease.
no,
He
I,
was
no, I think you're mentally ill. I
uh-huh.
think you're mentally
But my cousin, I forgot to tell you, my cousin, his name is Mohammed, and this is a story happened to your prophet, and this is Sahih Bukhari.
ill. This is Bulgaria.
My cousin, his name is the Prophet Muhammad.
No,
And I agree with you. He is having genetic disease. He imagined himself having sexual intercourse with his wife. In fact, he never did. And it's you who did
Yeah,
insult. Guys, did he say, isn't it him, this Abdul? He accuses the Prophet that he
wait,
have
can you
genetic,
differentiate? Wait,
he have a
can you
genetic
differentiate
disease.
between
Guys, did he say
delusions?
that? Did he say that? He said that, not me. Apologize.
Wait, listen. Okay, do you know what's the difference between delusion? Do you know what's the difference between delusion
I told
and
you the
genetic
story. I
diseases?
told you my cousin, he imagined himself
Yeah,
having sex. He
delusion,
imagined himself
delusion,
having sex with his wife.
delusions are
You
not
said to me he have a
necessarily
genetic
linked.
disease, a mental
Delusions are not
illness.
necessarily linked to
No,
genetic
you said
diseases.
that. No, you said that. You cannot take
They
it
are
back.
not necessarily linked to genetic
Yes, I
diseases.
repeated it twice.
They are not necessarily.
I
Wait,
repeated that twice.
they
And
are not necessarily linked to genetic
yes.
diseases. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you see,
Yes.
I told you,
Yes.
I told you, I trick Muslims because
Yo, retard.
Muslims are
They
a
are not
bunch of
necessarily linked to.
liars, and the only way to make them say the truth is by tricking
Well,
them.
you're the only one who's liar here. You did not show me.
Okay,
You
you
did not
are the
show me.
one
You
who's
did not show me where the rope or the ladder.
what? And I showed you it's a robe. The Quran says so.
Oh yeah,
And now I am
yo,
showing
we're
you.
in tafsir.
And now I am
We're in the
showing
tafsir.
you. And now I am
We're in the tafsir.
and
Yo,
now
we're in the
I am
tafsir.
showing you
Yeah.
that
Gotcha.
your prophet he is imagining himself
Okay,
if in his wives, but in fact he never did. So you're a prophet according to you have genetic disease. I agree with you. He's mentally ill. Why you follow mentally ill person? Why you left? He left. He said dictionary, we gave him dictionary. He said Quran, we gave him Quran. Hadith, we gave you hadith. My cousin, we gave you my cousin. Conclusion, my family, they are mental illness according to you. Yes, your prophet, my friend, your prophet is delusional. A Jewish guy, he took a hair from his anus and he controlled him. It hurt twice by taking the hair of him your anus once and then by controlling you by a hair from your anus. You have to shave it and burn the hair. Otherwise, the Jews will take it and they will use it as a weapon. Look what happened in Hamas. And then, when I say to you, my cousin, you get excited. When I say to you, my cousin is a Prophet Muhammad, you are doomed. It says here, Aisha, she said, magic work on Allah Messenger. So he used to think that he had sexual intercourse, relationship with his wife, but in fact, brother, he did not do it. You did a great description of your prophet's symptoms. He have a genetic disease, mental illness. He's a retarded. All of those words coming from your head. I'm not the one who called the word retarded, it's you. I'm not the one who said genetic disease, it's you. And all what I said to you, my cousin, he imagined himself having sex with his wives. In fact, he did not. It's you who gave me all those descriptions. Thank you very much. I cannot insult Muhammad better than Muslims. And now you run. By the way, you run, but your tail is still here. The thunder have a tail. Still holding it. You think I will let you go? You think if you exit the stage, you are gone? Everybody will listen to this video, will die laughing at you. Guys, conclusion. And this guy, he will go to the Muslim now. He says, brother and sister, I debated the Christian prince, and I did wipe the floor with him. Brother, you did wipe the floor with the Christian prince? Brother, it's so easy. He's so stupid. He is retarded. Brother, yeah, you said that Prophet Muhammad is retarded. Exactly. But you should not say that. I mean, how you say that? First of all, I said to him, Qadhi is retarded. Yeah, but he was making fun of you. He just told you that this is the one who taught that is Muhammad, not his cousin. Exactly. So now he will go, he says, man, I was there. I did box him. I did beat the hell of him. Christian Prince destroyed. And now it's time for me to go and buy some glue from Amazon because I need to put myself together. Where is the ladder? Where is the ladder? Show me the ladder. انت فين يا عتريس؟ يا عتريس انت فين؟ السلم فين؟ انت اخذت السلم؟ I'm speaking to him in Egyptian now. And Abdul, what a stupid cult. The Prophet, he imagined himself having sexual intercourse, but in fact he did not. What is left of this guy? I mean, his penis doesn't work. His brain doesn't work. His teeth are gone. And then they say to you that the Prophet Muhammad was the most amazing. How Muhammad he recite the Quran when he have no teeth? Take your teeth and try to talk. Just take them off. Nobody will understand you. Speaking about the jinn, maybe next time I will go live, I will talk about Muslim women. She claimed that her husband is a genie. And he excuse my language, he her non-stop. And he have many kids from her. Should I make a topic about it? Maybe. Maybe next time. Bonjour. What bonjour, my friend? The Muslim, they broke every bone of me. What bonjour? You should say bon glue, fixing. I mean, destroyed me. The Abdul, he was here, the one after one. The first one is the Farrakhan. The second one is the shish kebab sullum. He wants show me the leather. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button, guys. Who care? Those people, they come here just for fun. Nobody care for what I'm doing. Few of them they care. Thank you for the one who's asking them to hit the like button. But anyway, most of them they are coming for entertainment. As you see, Islam is just a stupid, and you have to be stupid. So the thunder is an angel. And by the way, do you notice that the Ibn Kathir in English have nothing to do with Ibn Kathir in Arabic? Did you notice? Why Ibn Kathir in Arabic it says he is an angel, have 4 faces, blah 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 blah. But in English we cannot find it. Look, this is the same chapter. Why in English it's not saying that for Ibn Kathir? Right away from the beginning it says he is an angel, have 4 faces. If we go to Ibn Kathir in English, they took it off. Because Ibn Kathir in English, it is false book. They took everything embarrassing almost to Islam off the book. So angel is a thunder, lightning is his belt, he beat the cloud with it. In fact, Muhammad, he claimed that they asked Muhammad, what is this sound we hear? He said he have 70,000 angels in his right hand and 70,000 angels in the left hand, and he have a fire belt. So when he moved to the right side, 70,000 angels, they shout together, praising Allah, and that make you hear the first sound. And then when he hit the left side, other 70 they shout again, and this what make you hear the second sound. So the lightning is a fire belt, which he lead the cloud with it. He hit the cloud literally. And if you read the Islamic interpretation one after one, you will see how stupid all of them together. And the funny, the Islamic book supposedly is made to explain the Quran. Yeah. But the second you start reading, you will get dizzy and you will see how stupid this book is. This is Al-Qurtubi. If you read it, you would die laughing. Read with me carefully.
He is an angel sitting on a throne between heaven and earth, and on his right are 70,000 angels, and on his left the same number. So when he turns to his right...
That's what I told you, right? And then you will see the fire belt. He beat the cloud with it. He lead them from place to place. This is their scholars. And this is their prophet teaching. And then they come to you and they say the book of science. If this is the book of science, what is the book of stupidity called? But they assume that all of you do not know Arabic, and all of you do not have knowledge. And maybe, I don't know, this guy he never heard of me before. I mean, it must be a mistake. It must be a mistake. And Abdul? Look like we are out of Abdul and no more fool. So we better close the mosque for today. You know, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah. Smash Allah. Allah turned to be La, the moon god. And the Muslims agree. And Muhammad delusional, and he have a mental illness, and he is suffering from genetic disease. I like this genetic disease. I like it. It's really a good definition of the situation. Link for what? Link for what? For this? Okay, this is Al-Qurtubi. You have to use Google Translation as usual. And this is Ibn Kathir in Arabic, second link, Ibn Kathir in Arabic. And if you want to compare between Ibn Kathir in Arabic and English, be my guest. You will see how they lie to you and they hide all the embarrassment stuff. Ibn Kathir in Arabic is many books, many books. It become one book, small tiny book. This is Ibn Kathir in Arabic after diet. All right. The link for call in, oh, you mean Discord? No, we are done for today. Actually, it's time to go. I have to say that anyone who believes Islam is really a religion of something legitimate, you must be stupid. You know me, I don't sugarcoat. I don't say, like other Christian, they will say to you, brother, I think you are wrong, you've been deceived. No, I have to say to you, you must be stupid and mentally ill. I mean, those people don't even know what they are believing. The reality is that Muhammad is mentally sexual ill person. He has a mental illness, and most of his mentality is about sexuality. And he used an ancient god of the moon god as a reason for people to obey him and fulfill his needs of sex and money. All cult leaders, they share the same purpose: money, sex, and control. Go check out any cult leader in the world. By the way, if you want, you can examine Jesus to see if he fit in that category. You see, we Christian, we believe Jesus our Lord, but you will see Jesus never asked for any of those. He never asked for money, he never slept with the women, and he never controlled anybody. In fact, he asked his disciples if they like to go, leave him. He was making a speech, and some people did not like what he said. He said, maybe you can leave too. They said, no, Lord, we will stay. He never forced anyone to stay. Not only he taught her holiness, he was holy. Not only he taught wisdom, he is the wise. Not only he is loving by speeches, he loved people who they are crucifying him in the cross. Not only he made the blind see, the dead come from the ground, the one who cannot be healed, healed. He himself resurrected from the ground, from the grave. He overcome death, which means I do not need to be risen by somebody. I am your divine. I am the resurrection, he said. I am the life. I am the truth. I am the resurrection. That is Jesus. So you want to follow a man who imagined himself having sex, but in fact he did not. If he imagined himself having sex, in fact he did not, that means everything he saw is imagination, possibly, including seeing angels. We have the Holy Lord. His name is holy. His life is holy. His death was holy. His resurrection is holy. And right now he is with the Holy Father in heaven. That is my Lord. Who is yours? A pedophile, a thief. Even his own son, wife, he took her from him. If this is what written in your books about your prophet, what is going to be written in other people's books? And remember always, the victory always make history, which means the victorious write history. So if the one who won the war, that is the Muslims at that time, wrote this history by them about how filthy Muhammad is, in the same time they are glorifying him for his filthy, because they are filthy too. The best of them is filthy, so they don't see his filth, because they are more filthy. That's why there's a hadith about a man was touching Aisha when she was eating, molesting her. Can you believe it? And who is that? Umar. What about Umar lifting the skirt of the daughter of Ali to see her vagina? Who is that? The most amazing caliphate of the Muslims. What about Aisha? She took an army to kill Ali and his kids, 10,000 Muslims. Filthy. Those are the Muslims. Who is the one who killed the caliphates? Muslims. Why? They are gang, they are trash. So if you are today as a Muslim, I'm not saying you are trash. I'm saying your caliphate, they are trash. Your prophet was trash. This is why the best of them, they wrote about him, they never felt shame. Imagine we find a verse in the Bible says that Peter was accused of stealing underwear. Peter accused of stealing underwear? No way. Yeah, no way. But we will find in the Quran. Muhammad accused of stealing underwear. And how Allah proved that he did not? He says that he did not do it, which means obviously he did it. It's not for any prophet to embezzle. What about you tell us who took it? So you are God and you see everything. And then the prophet now accused of stealing underwear, red underwear. I'm serious, it's red. Shouldn't Allah say who took it? Isn't Allah is the one who know it? Isn't He the all-knowing, all-seeing? Shouldn't He vindicate? Muhammad says it's not him. Here we go. Get the guy. Go to his room. You will find. Take him. Let him take off his clothes. He's wearing the red panty. He's a gay. But this is not what happened. Muhammad, he just told him, Allah told me to tell you it's not me. Which means obviously it's him. Because if Muhammad is a prophet, should prophesy who took it. Allah should tell him. Until now, the red underwear is missing. And then the Muslim, they say to you, Allah knows best. Allah do not even know where is the underwear. And you say to me, Allah knows best. Halloween in the Quran, there's other kind of Halloween in the Quran, you know. Like even, you see here, just to show you how thief he is, the word Jahannam, this is taken from the Bible, and this is the valley where they burn the dead bodies in Jerusalem. Suddenly, Muhammad is copying from the Bible. And they say to you, the Quran is a pure Arabic book, when there's no Arabic in the Arabic. Jahannam? You ask them, what Jahannam mean? They will say to you, hell. Where do you get this from? Hanum. Potato. Potato, 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 potato. Oh. All right, here we have our friend Kang. He is saying he left Islam. He saw the truth. Well, we are happy for you, Kang, for seeing the truth, my friend. God bless you. And I hope your family too will know more about Islam and they will leave it. We are happy for you, my friend. Do we have any Abdul? Last call, last call. Mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday. All right, I think it's time to go. I say, may the Lord bless you all. And remember what the Bible says, that we are not fighting against flesh. This is not a war with the flesh and the blood. This is against rulers of authority. And who are they? The cosmic power over the present darkness against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. The Bible never lie. And our Lord, He said, I am the truth, and yes, He is. And your prophet, false prophet, is the false, is the lie itself, and the liar is the devil. Who is the father of all lies? The devil. What his name in the modern day? Muhammad. So I hope we learned something good for today, and I hope to see you soon again. And we pray that the person who was here will open his eyes and will see the truth, and the same as the other person who following Farrakhan. Always remember that God is good, so is Jesus, and we are the crusade. See ya.